Oh, what's up, everyone, and welcome to the WAN Show. We got a great show lined up for you guys this week. Microsoft. It has been found that Windows might not be great for handheld gaming. Also, some other stuff going on with them. Here's another one. In Texas, there's an age verification law that will require companies like Apple and Google to verify the ages of users in order for them to use their app store. Wow, super cool idea in theory. How's this going to work in practice? We have no idea. What else we got this week?
Tariffs, because why not? Also, we're going to talk about some off-topic stuff. I went to China, and it was genuinely very interesting.
Sorry, you went where?
And kind of terrifying, but not for the reasons you would think. China.
I never heard of it.
Oh.
Oh, you mean China.
China.
The show is brought to you today by Seasonic. Proton. Is that enable or enable?
I'm pretty sure it's enable.
Enable. Oh, that makes way more sense. Cool. And of course, by our laptop partner Dell, our wrap partner dbrand, and our chair partner Secret Lab. All right, why don't we jump right into kind of part of our headline topic. Microsoft has just been stepping in doo-doo on the Windows side of things pretty much left and right lately. They had their whole fiasco with recall last year.
Which they've just kept
Windows,
at.
We've got a video coming soon comparing original recall and new recall, and it is better, but is still
It's still a recall.
Deeply problematic.
Nice.
Windows has just felt like such a bloated mess lately, dude. I had to go through the initial setup wizard recently, and it's just like, can I just use my computer? Can you just... You don't need to know if I need it for entertainment or media or game. I mean, all of it. Just move.
Windows device setup is horrible.
Get out of the way.
It's actually terrible.
None of this matters.
I remember late 2000s, new device setup. Honestly, MacBook or Windows was like kind of a cool experience. And now it just sucks. I don't know about MacBook. I haven't done it in a long time. But the Windows laptop setup is terrible.
And then meanwhile, Dave 2D compared two identical Legion Go S's, one with Windows 11 and the other with SteamOS. The SteamOS version outperformed its Windows counterpart by, I gotta say, a shocking amount. Like I remember not that long ago when Windows consistently was faster than Linux for gaming.
Yeah.
That is no longer the case. Spider-Man 2 out of Cyberpunk, you guys are going to have to go check out the video if you want the exact numbers, because it's Dave 2D's numbers. But out of Cyberpunk, Helldivers 2, Doom Eternal, Spider-Man 2, and Witcher 3, only one of them was a win for Windows 11 compared to SteamOS, and just barely. Like, I am talking by like run-to-run variance, 1 frame per second difference. And this is in spite of the fact that we're dealing with the Proton compatibility layer. Like, that is mind-blowing. That's how far Linux drivers have come, and that's how much less overhead SteamOS offers compared to Windows. Not to mention that on the SteamOS version of the Legion Go S, you're not paying for Windows. So it's over $100 cheaper at retail, according to his video. We also saw a similar performance delta in a video from Random Gaming HD's video comparing an identical system running both Windows 10 and SteamOS. So in this case, it was a desktop system with a 12400F processor, 16 gigs of RAM, a 6500 XT GPU, and a 256 gig NVMe SSD. SteamOS once again won, this time in Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Black Myth Wukong, and Forza Horizon 4. CS2 was a win for Windows, but I mean, SteamOS got over 150 FPS, so it's not like it's really an issue anyway. Meanwhile, in other Windows gaming news, Microsoft is apparently temporarily sidelining their rumored Xbox handheld gaming device to focus on optimizing the Windows 11 gaming experience, especially for mobile devices.
Good luck with that.
Their cloud gaming device and ROG Ally 2 collab seem to be unaffected. This is, I don't know, good news? I don't know what it is. Because on the one hand, it's not like Microsoft clearly is incapable of building a streamlined, low overhead operating system for gaming. Literally, that's what runs on the Xbox. But whether Windows has just gotten too bloated, or whether they've been unfocused, or whether their partners are not delivering on the driver quality that they need, and they're
maybe.
Yeah, probably not that as much. It's clear that Windows gaming has gone, like, they can't figure it out, can they?
My lack of enthusiasm for this, I think, is based around, like, practically every time that they've tried to touch it, they've just either done nothing or made it worse, as far as my understanding goes.
They've done some cool stuff. I mean, remember back...
Gaming mode was worse, if you remember.
I'm not talking about gaming mode, but remember Vista had that, like...
Dude, okay. When's the launch date of Vista, bro?
I'm just saying.
January 30th, 2007!
Okay. In Vista...
It's been almost 20 years.
In Vista, there was a My Games folder
that
consolidated the location of all your game, like, config files and save files and everything.
I remember that.
This was back before cloud save was just a thing you could take for granted in every game. And it was super useful because when you reformat it or whatever, you could just grab that folder, make sure you back it up, and dump it into that folder again on the new system, except for the games that didn't put their stuff in there. Those ones you had to go hunting for, so it still kind of sucked. But yeah, Microsoft just can't. I mean, Games for Windows Live seemed well-intentioned.
What happened to that folder?
But was horrible. Yeah, the folder went away. Games for Windows Live went away. That one we're happy about.
We're stoked on that one.
Yeah, we're pretty
Except
stoked.
It didn't fully go away, did it?
I mean, mostly.
Yeah.
Like,
the ways that it was bad back then are gone, but they still have their, like, Microsoft login, which is horrible.
Oh, dude.
You were talking the other day about how it just, like, it makes you re-log in or something.
So, no. What happens is, and I don't know if it's specific to Minecraft Dungeons or something, but because we would often go months between playing it, my kids and I, like, played Minecraft Dungeons for a bit. It's a Diablo clone. It's Minecraft skinned anyway. It's kind of fun. So we'd go sometimes months between playing. So I would have to log in 4 accounts. And for some reason, mine was bugged so that and of course your password manager doesn't work properly with, like, a pop-up inside a game.
Yeah.
So sometimes the game would get bugged. So the prompt, like, wouldn't show up in the pop-up, and you'd have to, like, go delete some config file to get it to show up. And then when it would show up, for some reason, something to do with my account, whether it's because it's, like, an LMG account, or whether it's because it's, like, a parent account or something. I don't know. But if I typo my password, that's it. I have to reset my password. There's no, like, go back and try again. Nothing. It immediately goes, you need to reset your password.
Yeah.
If I enter it wrong one time.
I enter passwords wrong all the time.
Well, yeah, because my passwords are long and have special characters and stuff. So I'm at the point now where when I enter my Microsoft password, I'm like, finger peck to make sure that I get it right, because I don't mind changing my passwords once in a while. It's a good security practice. What I don't like is changing my passwords all the time, especially when they're ones that I use every day, and I do kind of try to memorize because it's more convenient than, you know, I'm unlocking my phone and then open the app and then authenticate the app and then navigate to the... I hate password managers. So where were we going with this? Right, yeah, gaming on Windows is an absolute dumpster fire. Dude, the fact that it takes like 10 minutes to go from like first opening the game to actually driving a car in Forza is
I was just going to bring up Forza because I actually really, really liked Horizon 5. And it's the first racing game in a very long time that I was like, I want my friends to come play this with me. I convinced one person to buy the game and play with me. I am very lucky that they had a great time with the game single player. because playing with them multiplayer just didn't work. And I just stopped recommending the game to all my friends because I was like, we can't play together anyways, so they'll either find it themselves or whatever, I guess. And it was purely because of like Microsoft's junk matchmaking and login stuff. You try to play Halo, you launch on Steam, everything's fine, blump, login. Well, cool. Invite people to the party, maybe they don't show up, things don't work like a huge percentage of the time.
Or they are working, but like you can't see their avatar.
See it.
And we all know that seeing the avatar is the whole point anyway, so they can sell more skins. So, get it right, Microsoft.
How does that part not work? I don't know. It's
to be clear, I'm rooting for Microsoft to fix this. Like I'm super into it. Competition is good. I don't want a SteamOS monopoly in gaming any more than I want a Windows monopoly in gaming.
Yeah,
that's not healthy either. I want this fixed, especially because there's always going to be edge cases that Proton compatibility layer can't fix. Older games or whatever the case may be. Like I want Windows to be a robust gaming platform. I'm starting to lose hope, and this is interesting. The battery life testing was fascinating. Dave's video is called "Windows Was the Problem All Along," and the full load tests
great title, by the way,
are not that interesting. The battery life when you're really running everything full tilt, relatively similar. I mean, not the same, not the same at all, but relatively, at least within the same sort of
Windows still
area.
loses.
But when you're running like lower, less demanding, like side scroller type games, SteamOS absolutely steamrolls Windows, like to a degree that I wouldn't have thought was possible.
We'll get more into it when we get to that outro section, but I was playing Final Fantasy VI on my laptop on the plane, and I was very lucky that it had a like full fat power plug on the plane because it was not going to last me very long. And I'm playing Final Fantasy VI, dude. Like, come on. Windows battery life is so bad.
Like you could run that game on a watch, easily these days.
Come on.
Ugh. Oh man, I had my own issues traveling and gaming on Windows. I'm finally okay. This should give you some idea of how deep my game backlog is. I finally picked up Psychonauts 2.
That's been a bit.
Yeah, it's been a bit. Anyway, the point is, I bought it back when it came out. So, man, what's Schaefer's company called again? Whatever, I don't know, his developer. So they got my money, so I supported the game. I loved Psychonauts 1. It was awesome. Anyway, so I finally picked it up, and my laptop was running it great. This thing has, I think like a 4070 or something like that in it, like pretty powerful GPU, considering the thinness and the flexible form factor. So I've got it all like set up in front of me in like tent mode. And nice. I decided, and I regret this, but I decided when I was holding my Ally and my laptop and a controller, I was like, I have to bring my laptop anyway. So why don't I just game on my laptop? Yeah. Why bother? They both support my external GPU thing with the 4080 or 4090 or whatever in it, the XG Mobile. So why wouldn't I just bring my laptop? That ended up not working out great at all. So first of all, when I tried to use my XG Mobile, I tripped the breaker on the airplane plug. So I wasn't able to use my external GPU anyway, because I guess it draws too much power, so that was irritating.
Yeah, my laptop's pretty low power.
Yeah, but that's fine, because I actually have a decent GPU on this thing anyway. But then, when I wanted to... So I was able to pair my controller, everything, that was fine. But this is hilarious. I was on the plane's Wi-Fi, and I guess we were flying China Air, because we were going over to Taiwan, and somehow the game... Okay, I don't know how this happened. Okay, I have no idea. But I am guessing that somehow the network that I was connected to picked up my time zone or location or something, and somehow the game picked that up, and I was speeding through the initial setup menus, and I accidentally selected Chinese for the language of the game, which normally wouldn't be that big of a deal. But seriously, Google this. I'm not imagining it. Psychonauts 2 buries the language configuration in the accessibility menu. Like
accessibility menu?
Yeah, instead of just having it like kind of obvious.
Usually it's
like
pretty early.
If you're fighting your way, to try to change the bloody language. And because my phone wasn't actually connected to the internet, I couldn't just use Lens to translate it unless I bought another stupid Wi-Fi flight pass. Because they figured out my trick. So I had this hack that I used to use on airplanes to share one Wi-Fi access across all my devices. Windows is actually super cool. Supports mobile hotspotting from Wi-Fi to Wi-Fi. So lots of other devices support being connected to a landline and then sharing and tethering over Wi-Fi, or being on 5G and tethering over Wi-Fi or whatever. But Windows supports sharing a Wi-Fi connection. I'm going to get to that, Top Gear. So anyway, somehow they've kind of figured that out, I guess, and they've done something with the Wi-Fi connection on most of the flights that I've been on recently that makes Windows think you're not connected. So the little globe in the corner is all like, nope, you're not connected. And then that grays out the mobile hotspot sharing thing. You can't force it, even though your connection totally works. And I couldn't find, I looked up guides, and I wasted I wasted a bunch of my expensive flight pass Wi-Fi trying to figure out how to bypass the blocks that they had on my expensive flight pass Wi-Fi. If anyone knows how to fix that, I'd be super open to it. Anyway, what did Top Gear say? Oh, shoot, I lost the comment I was going to get to. Oh, yeah. Top Gear says change the config file in Psychonauts. It doesn't work. So they have a guide that I Googled and found that if you want to change it to, I think it's French or German or something like that, you go in the config file and you just put language that, and then it will change to that language. But it doesn't appear to work for English, because I guess the assumption is just that it was already English and you were trying to change it to, I don't know, but it didn't work. So anyway, I eventually managed to change it, and I was gaming, and then the lights on the plane went out because it was like nighttime, time to sleep, and I went to adjust the brightness of my screen, and for some reason, whether it's because I'm using a third-party application now instead of Armory Crate on this thing, like it's, I forget what it's called, but it's super cool. Basically, it takes all of the nightmare of Armory Crate and boils it down to this tiny little interface here. Let me see if I can find it. Is this it? Nope. Yeah, here it is. G Helper. That's what it's called. So there. It takes all of Armory Crate. Update right now. It takes all of Armory Crate and makes it this, which is awesome. And like Armory Crate with the XG Mobile, the external GPU will sometimes get bugged. And you'll like plug it in, but it won't prompt you to activate it, or like it's plugged in and it won't prompt you to deactivate it, and like it's not safe to. I literally bricked a mobile GPU that, remember when you tripped on it and it unplugged the mobile GPU? If you unplug it expectedly, I think that one literally died because I never got it working again. So it really matters. So anyway, this lets you just override it. It just has a button and you'd be like, XG Mobile, and it always works. So I don't know if it's because of this or because of something else, but I can't adjust my brightness when it's plugged in. So in the dark of the plane, I have like
this glowing,
the power of the sun beaming into my eyes. And then if I wanted to try to game on battery, dude, I'd have gotten less than an hour for sure. Like less than an hour out of this thing if I was actually trying to play a full fat 3D game. Maybe more than an hour, but like this is like a 10-hour flight. So I was like, well, I have nothing but bad options. I wish I just brought my stupid handheld. I forget what we were supposed to be talking about.
I think we're just complaining about Windows.
Oh yeah, so that, well then I was doing great. Good job, Linus.
I will also bundle in that complaining about Windows means kind of complaining about the state of Windows laptops, because that's sort of what you're doing right now. And I will re-bring up what I now know is probably called the screen locking problem that I had with my laptop. I haven't
Someone on the subreddit said it might be to do with your attention. This.
I haven't had a chance to actually do this because this was uploaded I was in the air by the time this was
posted.
Cool. So I haven't had a chance to do it. But this makes so much sense.
Yeah. So this is
I just believe it's it.
Yeah, this is a thing where like if you look away from the laptop, it blanks the screen.
But here's my problem.
Yeah.
I just think it basically doesn't work at all. That's my current stance on it. Because it can be daytime and I'm staring right at it and it will just lock. It can be nighttime and I have something covering the webcam and it'll work just fine for like an hour and then randomly lock.
It's a fine line, dude, because as a company like Microsoft, right, you have to give your partners room to differentiate their products.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you might as well be Apple, right? You end up with no innovation.
You lose your special
But
sauce
you
a
also
little bit.
have to just like keep the leash at a reasonable length because they're just going to do
This
dumb
is
shit.
so stupid.
And
my biggest problem with this is it doesn't tell you at all.
Right.
Like if you know, I slept the computer and woke it back up so that I could actually use it again, and then there was like a little ba-dung, and in the corner it was like, by the way, that was us.
But then you wouldn't want that to happen every time.
I could turn this off if I want to. I could also at that point in time say, don't
Never
tell me
prompt
this
me
again.
about this again.
But it would be really
Right.
sick if it told me at least one time. Because again, I haven't had time to change this setting. I pretty much guarantee you this is the actual problem. So like, no, I haven't tested it, but it makes so much sense that this would be it. Especially because I ran into the Hardware Canucks guys while I was at Computex.
Oh, yeah?
And one of them told me that they saw that bit on the show. They have a very similar version of a Lenovo laptop and have the exact same problem.
Okay, so it's probably that then.
Yes.
Probably the screen lock.
So
then.
now I have to go around and like tell everyone that I know that has this laptop, and a bunch of people have reached out being like, yeah, I have the same stupid problem. I've thought about returning it, blah, 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 blah. It's like, Lenovo, do you understand? Like, everyone thinks you suck, and it's just a software setting. Like, people think your laptops suck and are broken, and that's not even the case.
Dude,
Outside of that, I love that laptop.
the amount of product problems that are caused seemingly by just nobody at the company actually using the product is mind-blowing.
It has to be the case here.
It's mind-blowing.
Or it's a problem where you have a overly informed expert,
Yeah, or that.
where they know what this is.
Like,
So they just deal with it.
Yvonne is doing an iPhone challenge right now. So she just switched over to iPhone, and getting WhatsApp backed up and migrated between Android and iOS is like inexcusably broken. The fact that has, so she lost a bunch of message history. I lost a bunch of message history, even though I mostly know what I'm doing. Like it will say you backed up to it'll tell you what Google account it's backed up to. And then you go to restore it and it's like missing a bunch of stuff because there's like a specific way you have to do it when you're migrating between devices where you have to scan the QR code. So I didn't really screw up because the QR code was there and I was trying to scan it, but the camera was like blurry and there was no alternative. You have to scan the QR code. There's no other way. And then I wasn't able to do it. So I lost like 4 months of my message history because that part wasn't like backed up on that phone yet or something. And it had to restore from one other thing. And their backups are just broken. It's infuriating. Kara, don't worry about my tennis elbow. I am intentionally moving it. I'm not doing anything in weird positions. I'm okay. And this is just like a massage thing. It's fine.
He's all right.
Yeah.
That made me think of something else I want to bring up, but I'm not going to tangent us at this time, so I just add the note for later.
Hurts, but it's stronger. All right, what are we supposed to be doing?
Any more Windows complaining to do?
No,
or should we jump
I'm
into
ready
the topic?
I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to
right.
move on from Windows in general. If it wasn't for anti-cheat and just like application compatibility lock-in, I don't see why I would use it anymore.
If I could get away from multiple games that I play only working on Windows, and like genuinely right now, if I could get away from that, I would switch on my personal computer.
Maybe it's time for a Linux challenge again.
Another one?
Maybe it's time. I keep telling myself I'm going to wait for SteamOS. You know, like and it's coming. Like they have an installer that is now validated for non-Valve handhelds. And it does work on desktops as long as you've got a compatible desktop, which I kind of do actually. I think I have like a 79.
Does SteamOS actually
7950X
offer anything uniquely?
Does it what, sorry?
Does it offer anything uniquely?
It offers being ready to go. Which
so you can still install like the like there's no special sauce just for SteamOS in relation to like Proton or anything like that.
not that I'm aware of, no.
Yeah, okay.
No, you should be able to have the full SteamOS experience on something else pretty much, as long as you're willing to kind of configure it a little. But
yeah, I don't think it needs much. I feel like
I don't want to do that.
Yeah, and that's fine. We used different distros last time.
We totally did.
Yeah. I was trying to evaluate for myself, basically, do I just want to use Mint again? Because like that's what I would want to do.
Right.
But then I want the best possible gaming setup. So like, can I still do that on Mint?
You should be able to. And like realistically, you have more software troubleshooting capabilities than I do. So I would definitely lean toward the more set and forget, ready to go Linux distro.
I'm also like, I don't know how this works, but even with like a 6-year gap between using Mint, it like immediately felt familiar again. So like, I kind of want to go back to that thing.
Yeah.
Because like, whatever way they've done it, Mint just like feels really good to me.
And what's nice about using a full desktop distro that's
like old Windows.
intended for that use case is that you're not going to be limited by some of the things that are not that way about SteamOS. Like SteamOS, to my knowledge, still doesn't have baked in printer support.
Yeah, like I wonder if you're going to be running into like your aversion to wanting to set up things for gaming. I wonder if it's going to set you up for failure in other ways.
Yeah, could very well be. Admittedly, I didn't spend a long time, but I probably burned about half an hour trying to like install printer support on SteamOS because we were trying to use an ancient printer and we couldn't find a Windows driver that worked. I was like, right, Linux. What's the closest Linux machine that I have? A Steam Deck. I'll just plug it into a Steam Deck.
Yeah.
And it totally didn't work.
Yeah. Someone in Floatplane chat said doing it on, I don't know what they mean by it, but I'm assuming they mean like Proton stuff. Doing it on Mint for the last 3 months, super easy so far. Hell yeah. Mint got way popular somewhat recently because PewDiePie did his Linux switched thing, and he chose Mint.
The OG influencer just casually influencing people.
Just
look at that.
Randomly doing a Linux switch.
The system works.
I didn't see it coming, but
no, I mean I know he's into tech, like because he's referenced us like quite a few times over the years. I don't know. He's a funny character because he's on the one hand like one of the most recognizable internet personalities ever. And then on the other hand, he seems to be like kind of a recluse.
Yeah.
Like he apparently goes out of his way. I don't know this from him personally because of the thing I'm about to say. But he apparently goes out of his way to like not make new connections. Which, honestly, at this point, I kind of get
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know he just likes Japan a lot, but I know a significant part of the reason why he moved there was because he just doesn't really get recognized that often.
Well, yeah, because I think generally speaking, they are not as obsessed with our cultural icons as we are with theirs.
Yeah.
Is sort of one way of putting it.
I don't remember what they're called, but there's like...
So the opposite of a weeb?
Yeah. They're into
No
cowboys.
way. Shut up.
No, 100%. Do you know about this?
I think so, yeah.
This is totally a thing.
What's the opposite of a weeb? The opposite of weeb, a derogatory term for someone with an extreme obsession with Japanese culture, can be understood in a few ways. Oh, wait, a Japanophobe? No, that's not what we're talking about. Westaboo?
Is that what it's called? Is that what it's called? It might be what it's called.
This is from r/what's the word. What you're looking for is Westaboo. There's no way it's called Westaboo.
It might be.
No way. Howdy, my name is Rawhide Kobayashi. I'm a 27-year-old Japanese Jap-American Western culture fan for you foreigners. I brand and wrangle cattle on my ranch. There's no way. This is not real.
That has to be
That has to be AI.
No.
Yeah.
My God.
Westaboo sounds legit. Westaboo it is. Okay. I think we should probably move on. I don't think we're going to...
This is a thing, I swear.
I don't think we're going anywhere positive with this.
I swear it's a thing.
Don't make me start doing announcements.
I found a video.
Ugh.
Cowboy Tanaka? Okay. Well, I don't want to... Here.
An anti-weeb of sorts.
They're cosplaying as cowboys. Hell yeah, dude.
I can't tell who I think less of.
No one. We don't judge anybody.
Yeah.
Dan.
Myself.
How many of them are there?
There's so many. Oh, action. Dude, he's gonna regret that screw up for his. Oh wow, he's got one of those super old school scopes and everything.
Oh my goodness! Is this
now they're cosplaying getting shot.
Oh,
yo, that guy totally sold it.
This is kind of cool.
I mean,
That guy's got the chaps.
okay.
Oh, that guy went for it.
Oh yeah, I took it off the screen. I think that's enough of that.
Yeah, well, there was that one time where I watched, what was it? Croquet? Competitive croquet on stream. Now I'm watching cowboy weaves.
Competitive Western cosplay in Japan. Okay, why don't we explain merch messages?
Saibugeki?
We don't really do super chats or Twitch bits. We do merch messages. They are the way to throw money at your screen for streamers, but also, hey, maybe like, I don't know, get something in return. All you got to do is go to LTTStore.com, add something to your cart, and boom, you're going to see a little box that pops up and prompts you to leave a merch message. It'll go to producer Dan, who will reply to it or forward it or curate it for me and Luke. And there are some pretty cool things that you could add to your cart this year. Mystery items are back! Available for a limited time. Mystery t-shirts, mystery hoodies, and mystery screwdrivers are available for as little as, what's that?
What the heck?
$17.99 Canadian for a mystery shirt. $49.99 Canadian? That's not even real money. I mean, it's real money, but $59.99 Canadian for a mystery screwdriver? That's right, my friends. These are actually really low prices. You're welcome, I guess.
American costs. There you go. And
you've got USD.
Yep.
Very nice.
Back to Linus's.
So yeah, $50 for mystery screwdrivers. Hold on, can we go back to?
Yep.
Yeah. $40 for mystery hoodies, and I believe we actually specify what the ones could be. Nope.
No, we don't.
Random.
He
Cool.
takes it back. We do on the screwdriver.
Sure. We recommend one purchase per customer. If you order more than one hoodie, you may get two or more with the same design. Yeah, we could. Okay, we apparently are not saying.
I have a feeling we didn't for the t-shirt and in the sweater because there's probably a wider variety of them. The screwdriver, there's two. And they're both similar. So I think we tried to specify it.
I actually don't know if that's true. One moment, please. I don't think the screwdriver one is correct because I believe all of at least one of the screwdriver, the Noctua colorways, is out of stock. Oh, what just happened? Did Nick just hang up on me? I mean, I wouldn't blame him.
Based.
Beat me to it.
That's not
by like
based.
seconds.
That is not based. You're based.
It is.
Oh, thanks.
Hey, you're live on the WAN show. Question for you, good sir. Hello, are you there?
Yeah, can you not hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you now. That's perfect. Wonderful. It's loud and clear. Question for you. It says that the mystery screwdrivers are either Noctua beige or Noctua brown, but I thought they were something else. I thought they were a thing we talked about today.
No, that's not for today. That's for down the line.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so
different thing.
Oh, okay. Do we actually have Noctua beige and Noctua brown?
We have some kicking around. I don't think there's too many, so if people want to get a deal, they should probably jump on it. But yeah, we have a few left.
Okay, good chat. Thanks, Nick.
All right,
Oh, wait. Hold on. Do we know what hoodies are in the mystery bin?
It's a bunch. I don't know. There's like not a super huge amount. It's a bunch of like, I would say stuff from within the last 2 to 2.5 years, probably. So I can't give any more indication than that. Really, it's a bunch of different stuff.
Good chat. Thanks, Nick.
Okay. Yep. Bye.
Bye. Okay, well, there you go, guys. We literally don't even know what it is. Cool.
Sick.
All we know is that the price is right.
Sick.
Dan, do you want to show them how merch messages work?
Yeah, sure. I got a couple here. Just got a promotion to cybersecurity analyst. What's your best cybersecurity tip? I would not ask Linus that, but
Yeah.
don't use the
What?
What?
Heck? We
What
were
does that
literally
even
talking
mean?
before the show about how
I have cybersecurity tips.
yeah.
Okay, well, one of my tips is that if your infrastructure team implements a login system, that
Maybe they should tell people about it.
literally every time that you have to log into something, you have to email them to send you an invite, that is not very convenient.
It could be the right way to go if you're like securing Fort Knox or something.
Yeah, well, we aren't.
Hey man, those.
I love my infra team, but I don't love having to email someone for an invite to log into my stuff.
What if we made 74 changes in 2 days?
Oh yeah,
do you
here's
think
another
about that?
here's another cybersecurity tip. What was that email? Did you get that email that I sent you?
You send me so many emails.
I do not send you so many emails. Go ahead, check your inbox. How many emails have I sent you in the last week? No, I want you to guess first. How many emails in the last week? There's no way it's so many.
5.
5? That's not so many emails.
I preferred being correct
one
on the
email,
number
one
than correct
email
on
in
the
the
expression.
It's more than 5.
I don't know how many it is.
Okay, fine. Let's see how many emails I've sent you in the last week. I don't even send you that many emails. This guy. No, it's so many emails. 5 emails. Working hard, Luke? Yeah, I have 5 emails to reply to. There's so many.
I was working very
There's
hard.
so
this week.
many. You're gonna be jet lagged, dude. How
I
you
am
feeling?
jet lagged,
I know.
Yeah.
That's why I said.
and I'm sick.
God, you're slow. I said you've got to be jet lagged. And you're like, I am. well, then we have no
I
problem.
thought you said you're gonna be, and I was like, "What do you mean? I'm already here."
Yeah, his ears don't work too good when he's jet lagged.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, I don't send him that many emails.
Oh my God, was I right? 6. Darn.
Okay, so we can both be right.
7.
You can be the closest without going over for how many it actually was, and I can be right that I don't send you that many emails. No, I mean the one that I sent you with that one that was like full of hyperlinks that was just all like, hey, here's things you might like. Oh, okay, you haven't looked at this yet. You can look at it later.
When did you send this to me?
I don't know. Like today,
Can
yesterday?
we find out what's up with this?
at some point?
No, that's the other thing.
It doesn't matter. We don't actually have to have a meeting about it right now.
Now I'm interested.
It's WAN show. Okay, in that case, while he looks that up, there is one quick clarification on the mystery deals.
This thing, by the way, if it helps, that was Google.
Oh, okay. I've had issues with my spam filter. I've been getting useful emails in my spam from especially other creators, even ones that I've corresponded with before. So like I have in the last few months, I've had emails from Snazzy Labs go to my spam. Oh shoot. I'm not that popular. Not that many creators email me, but there were at least a couple. So sorry, I wanted to clarify. The mystery deals are for this weekend. So be sure to save at lmg.gg/mystery. Dan, do you want to go ahead and throw that in all the chats?
Sure thing. And do you want another one?
Are you like reading that email right now?
Yes.
So here's something I would suggest. If you're rolling out some new feature, maybe make sure that the email announcing the rollout does not look like you're testing if I'm falling for phishing scams. Like that looks like the most scam nationist email that I have ever gotten, including some of the bait emails during our like phishing internal tests. Like, are you looking at this email?
Yeah, it's... yeah.
It's from a domain I've never seen before, or not a domain. It's from an address I've never seen before. Contains hyperlinks like this long, many of them. Like, okay. Yeah, it's good.
Is this an automated email?
I don't know what it is. It's one of those things where, you know what? Like the team does so much stuff and so much good, and I feel bad for them because when you work on, okay, here's my advice. Here's a cybersecurity tip that will be very applicable to your new job. Don't take it personal when the only time anybody acknowledges you is when something goes wrong.
Which is how infrastructure...
Which is how infrastructure and cybersecurity roles basically just seem to work. You know, they say shit rolls down a hill, but that's not actually true. Shit rolls onto the infrastructure team, and it sucks. And Everyone else, you know, if you catch us at a time when we're calm, rational human beings who are not like wanting to put our fists through our computers, we love you. You know, we think you're cool. In like a kind of D&D, you should probably shave your neck beard and put on some deodorant kind of way, you know? Like we...
Oh,
what?
Oh, I'm going to add... Okay.
Oh.
I need to talk about that, but I'm going to add it to the later on topics. No.
Oh, okay.
We'll talk about it later.
Oh, dude, my flight to Taiwan, the guy next to me, I swear to God, hadn't brushed his teeth in like the last 6 months.
Okay, we're going to talk about it now. Go for it. Finish yours off.
Brush your fucking teeth. Okay? It's not about you. It's if you don't care if your whole mouth rots out or whatever, like, you know what? Power to you. You don't need teeth. That's fine. There's lots of things that you can do with no teeth.
Freedom forever.
In fact, there are things you can do better with no teeth. Just saying.
Dentures are based.
But brush your fucking teeth if you're going to be within, I kid you not, 6 feet. There were people, dude, back at NCIX, there were people I worked with that I could smell their breath from 6 fucking feet away. Like, it was disgusting.
Yeah.
Nothing smells worse than rotted ass meat between teeth while someone's talking to you. And if you're a close talker, I swear to God, you brush your teeth multiple times a day. If you're going to be a close talker, you can get all in close talking to people. It's disgusting.
Okay, so my thing on this, I'll address it now. The flight back. So I'm flying back from Hong Kong.
Yeah.
There's this dude next to me. And my thing is, like, I try to sleep on planes because I can sleep on planes. So I should exercise my ability to sleep on planes, especially when it's a 12-hour flight and you're trying to flip time zones and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's not the worst person I have ever smelled in any context, but it's the worst person I've been stuck next to on a plane by an incredible amount, to the point where I couldn't sleep because he smelled so bad that it was like, it like hurt. And it was his breath. So I wouldn't smell it all the time. And then he'd like look at me or I was window seat. Unfortunately, I usually like aisle because I can put my leg in the aisle, but he would look left out the window or whatever, and it would just punch me in the face. And I would like drift off and be asleep for like a couple minutes. And then he would breathe in some way that I could smell it, and it would actively wake me up. One of my solutions at one point was I fished my deodorant out of my bag, and I like scraped the top off of it and then rubbed, so I'm not rubbing armpit on my face, rubbed deodorant into my mustache. And then that worked for like half an hour.
Like just to mask the smell?
Yeah. That worked for like half an hour.
That would be its own flavor of terrible.
I ended up, but it was bad, but it was significantly better than this guy's insane like death breath.
And what's up with planes not having the little fan knob anymore?
I had it. It wasn't enough.
I didn't have it on mine.
Oh man.
I had nothing.
I tried the fan thing. I tried so much stuff. It was I didn't have any gum. It was really bad. Like I got off the plane like genuinely very angry because I had just spent 12 hours like smelling just I literally I can't. Okay. He wasn't old enough for this to be the case, and this is getting a little bit morbid. I don't even know if I want to go.
You're just going to say he smelled like death? Smelled like he was rotting?
But quite literally, because I've smelled that before.
Right.
Like to the point where I was wondering, and I'm sick now, I'm not saying I got it from him, but I was wondering, like, is this like bad? Because it's technically particles that I'm breathing in. It's
bad to not sleep.
Yeah.
Like keeping you awake is going to make you immunocompromised, which makes you more likely to get sick. Dude.
I walked the plane to see if there was another seat that I could go in. And I was going to offer, like if there was a economy plus seat and it was the only one that was open, I was going to offer to pay like mid-flight, like just move me.
Get me out of here.
Dear God, there wasn't anything. The whole plane was full.
This isn't a competition, okay? This is not me making everything about me.
I didn't have Vicks.
Go ahead, press the button.
Oh, sure, yeah. We're even, there we go.
But my flight back sucked too. So we took off from Taipei, and I like passed out. And that was actually my plan, was to sleep the first half of the flight and then stay up the second half so that I could then go to bed, because your sleep on a plane is not proper sleep.
No.
So if I could sleep for 5 hours, stay awake for 5 hours, drive home, be up for 4 hours, that's like 9 hours awake.
This is exactly what I tried
and
to
then
do.
go to bed.
Yeah.
Like, let's go. So everything was going according to plan. I passed the math out before we were probably even at cruising altitude. And then I like woke up from one of the deepest sleeps that I've ever been in on a plane. And we were descending and I was like, did I just sleep through a 10-hour flight? Like that's incredible. I feel
Sometimes time does seem weird on planes.
Yeah, I feel refreshed, but that was a deep sleep, but I don't feel like I was out for 10 hours. And wait a second, that's not YVR. What airport are we descending into?
Did I get on the wrong plane?
Yeah, exactly. What is KIX?
How is that even possible?
We were descending into Osaka.
Yeah.
Or ITM. Is it ITM? Whatever. It was ITM or KIX. It was one of them. The point is, we were headed to Osaka. So it turned out that we had actually gone about an hour off the coast of Japan, turned around because of a medical emergency, and we were landing in Osaka at about 3:30 a.m. Japan time. So to be clear, okay, I am grateful that I am not the person who had the medical emergency, and I am more than happy to be inconvenienced if it meant saving their life or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay? Not about that.
Do you have any idea what it was?
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
But they like did the thing. Like, is there a doctor on the plane? Like,
Whoa.
like just like in the movies and stuff. Yeah. So there was that. I didn't hear that part because I was out for that part.
Sure.
But Nick was seated up in the front, and he told me.
Wow.
And apparently there was, and they like tried, but they had to turn it around. So we land, and it was a combination of being frustrated at the lack of communication because I missed the, hey, we're landing in Osaka. And then we were probably on the ground for 45 minutes to an hour before they even told us, yeah, so Osaka airport is closed because it's like, by then 4:30 in the morning. So it's just like a skeleton crew. Right? Like there's enough people there for you to land, but they couldn't let us out in the terminal. So yeah, we're going to be here. We're going to be here for a few hours
on the plane
while people get to work so that they can refuel the plane and do all of our pre-flight checks and take off. So my 10-hour flight that was supposed to be direct ended up being a 15-hour flight where we went past Japan, back to Japan, waited around for literally like 3 hours on the ground, probably three and a half hours, and then took off back to Vancouver.
I assumed you got off the plane.
No. Oh. But it could have been worse. I was chatting with someone else at one point. Was it when we were out in the terminal? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Like once we got to Vancouver. It was either when we got to Vancouver or it was my seatmates. I don't remember. But I was chatting with someone, and this is hilarious. They actually came from Osaka. So they had a connecting flight through Taipei for Vancouver. So they went from Osaka to Vancouver, over Osaka, back to Osaka, and then on to Vancouver. So like so that means they went, so they had to be at the airport, 2 hours early, let's say. And then they had a 2.5-hour flight to Taipei. They waited for probably, an hour. So let's say an hour and a half. So let's say they're up to 6 hours now. Then they had a 15-hour stupid multi-leg flight. So they were like brutal, like over 20 hours of actual airport and flight. I feel bad for them.
That is pretty rough. What are we doing right now? Explain
one merch message.
Yeah, I like merch messages. Let's do a merch message.
How about another merch message?
Sure, why not?
What was the question? What was the last?
Yeah, that was a good one.
Okay.
Yeah, they did good.
Nice.
Good job.
Uh-huh.
Thanks.
That's how you send a merch message, all right?
Honestly, when we get derailed that hard, that is probably true.
Yeah.
I try and find them sometimes.
Quality
People
merch
just
message.
Do that. Dear DLO, love the screwdriver and hoodie phone pocket. What is the most surprising video that did well, and what was the most surprising video that flopped?
Oh man, picking out one out of the like 6,000 videos or whatever, honestly, not that easy.
Yeah.
There have definitely been examples of LTT videos that performed in ways that I didn't expect. I mean, I'd say the biggest surprise of all time has got to be the original fire truck video. There's no way anything could surprise me more than unboxing some stupid toy and it getting 9 million views or whatever.
I met the guy from Arctic who headed up the toys project.
Oh, shut up.
While I was in the airport in Taiwan heading to Hong Kong. We hung out in the line getting onto the plane and like talked about it and everything, and he handed me his business card and like, it's legit. I know that guy.
That is wild.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a fun random contact that I have now.
I don't think this is on par, but this is something. I was getting fried chicken in the food court of the tech mall, and I ran into the CEO of Trikes.
Yeah.
Oh wait, were you with me for that?
I was there, yeah.
You were there for that.
Yeah.
Well,
that was pretty crazy.
That was...
Another, the day before Computex, I went to, I like going to random restaurants in Taipei because they're often so good. I stepped into one random restaurant just called Pay My Tuition, which I thought was a hilarious name, so I went for it, and it was fantastic. Great restaurant, great food, etc. But I was sitting there for a while just at a bar because they only have like 2 tables. So I was eating at the bar. And there's a guy sitting next to me, and he randomly sparks up conversation. So we're talking for a little bit, and I ask him what he does. And he was a systems engineer. He was a lead systems engineer at NVIDIA. He's like one of their lead people for making those like AI appliances. I was like, okay. Had no idea who I was. Not interested in like the standard tech side of things at all. Purely joined NVIDIA to do AI stuff. Okay, crazy. Like, hadn't even heard of Linus Tech Tips at all.
Really?
Yeah, like, does not care about that side of things in the slightest.
All right. I'm looking for videos that only got less than 600,000 views. Most of these are pretty expected. Me versus a pool cleaning robot. Yep, that checks out.
Yep.
Today's video, so, that'll still get more views.
Mm-hmm.
The Seasonic coverage at Computex. That one makes sense because YouTube CMS still doesn't really account very well for multi-person managed channels. So 2 people had the video metadata editing open at the same time.
Oh.
One of them saved their changes and put it public, and then another person had it unlisted and saved that. So it went unlisted.
Oh.
And then they were like, oh no, and set it public again. But by then, the momentum's completely dead.
Which video was that?
Seasonic's new power supply that has temperature and current sensing.
The burning CPUs one?
To keep it from burning GPUs, yeah.
I was wondering why that got so low views. That makes sense.
Here's a sponsored thing on an OBSBot camera. That weird... Man, it's like all like showcases. Answering your questions about 5G. What is this? What the heck is this video? Can 5G be slow? Oh, this was actually a good video. Okay, yeah, this is one that I expected to do better. It was sponsored by T-Mobile, but it ended up being legitimately a pretty good video because we had a couple talking points for them, but we stayed really, really focused in it. And I honestly thought it was a good question. It's not a great thumbnail, honestly. I thought it was a good question though, and I thought we did a good job of answering it. For a sponsored video, the like-dislike ratio, if I recall correctly, was like pretty good. Like people who watched it seemed to have enjoyed it. Wait, no, it was not. It was super terrible. Okay, I wonder why. Okay, now I just really don't remember. I thought it was a good video, but
how old is this?
People
a few years, right?
Yeah. Oh, dude, this is years old.
If I remember correctly, people were just angry at T-Mobile at the time. I don't think it had much to do with.
I thought people were chill with T-Mobile back then.
They've had
like 5
quite
years ago.
the ups and downs, so I'm not sure.
All right. Yeah. Oh, I think people are just mad that it was sponsored. which like makes sense, but also, yeah, I thought the video was fine because we basically didn't even really do their talking points. I mean, Jack,
I was surprised that the mineral oil short that Sammy and I did at Computex did so well.
Oh, I'm not that surprised. Shorts do pretty okay, and Sammy is like the shorts whisperer around here. So
he is.
I gotta say, I honestly don't get that one that he and Elijah did on the Acer Predator 21X.
22 million views.
Yeah, and like, I know cognitively that part of what makes a short perform is that it kind of leaves you still hungry, because it makes you like, is it over already? And like start watching it again.
Yeah.
You have to have more than 100% average view duration in order for a short to pop off, basically. So like, I know that, but I just found that video so lacking in information. And like, it was like, for me personally, for my millennial brain, where I want beginning, middle, end, I want closure from my stories.
Yeah.
I just found that video so deeply unsatisfying that I just don't understand how it performed that well.
And it banged, dude.
I know. I don't get it. Maybe I should I clearly can't connect with the young kids anymore. Maybe I should just start Twitch streaming. They don't seem to have trouble with it. Sorry, excuse me, YouTube streaming.
Oh,
what platform is he on these days?
You gotta switch. You gotta switch when you do that.
I also need a mustache. All right.
And a
certain kind of mustache.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done.
Yeah. Maybe a bear costume.
What year is it?
The only reason why I said it was I was like, most people are gonna get this anyways.
Do you remember that time that we were doing? You might have been on a Floatplane by this point. Were you ever aware of the time that I dressed in like a bear costume to do a spot for Tunnel Bear?
Tunnel Bear, I feel like was my time, but I don't think I remember this.
Dude, they were not into it.
Are they still around?
I have no idea if they're still around.
I think they changed hands and got like sketchy, but I'm not sure.
I mean, that's classic. That's classic VPN
stuff,
right?
Yeah. Well, it looks like they're still here. I don't know who owns them right now, because my info on that change hands got sketchy thing is like very old, so it's very possible they changed hands again, or that my info is just wrong. I don't know.
Man, I can't even find this. But we were definitely...
Tunnel Bear's owned by McAfee? Okay.
Man, I wear all kinds of funny outfits. Look at this. What was I thinking? This is hilarious. Fun fact, by the way, I first wore this jacket, I think, before he did. Just saying. Do you remember when we went to Value Village for this?
Yeah.
It was not an intentional homage, but I absolutely love it. So now that it's done, I'm going to say it was intentional.
He's awesome too. So like, sure, why not?
Okay, hold on. Let's try bear costume instead of bear suit. It was very similar to this bear costume. It may have been the same bear costume, but that isn't me. Yeah, sorry, I can't find it.
I'm not sure why people are having trouble finding it. It's the PSU video he's talking about is called The Real Solution to Burning GPU Connectors. There's no way you can't see it. It's on the YouTube page. If you go to the YouTube page, click on videos and scroll down, it's right there. Thumbnail has him doing this, holding a PSU, and it says not a GPU on it.
Cool.
You can find it. I believe in you.
What are we supposed to be doing?
I think we did I think that was a merch message.
Oh, okay. More topics. Yeah, we could do that. Are we supposed to finish announcements?
We could go off the back of what we were just talking about and talk about miners.
Oh, right. BOINC.
Oh, right. BOINC is not the way to transition out of that.
What are you guys doing?
Oh God.
Luke, can you just be jet lagged every week? This is great. 10 out of 10 content.
Oh no. Okay.
You know, you could salvage this at any point by just starting to talk about the thing that we're actually talking about.
Well, is it BOINC or is it
BOINC.
okay? Where
I thought that's what we were talking about.
No.
Oh, you wanted to do that topic.
Yeah.
About the Texas age verification law. No, I thought we were talking about the BOINC Pentathlon, like mining or something.
Oh no.
Like the other kind of mining, like using compute for, to do stuff.
I mean, I think you do that too. Sometimes. Normally the FBI gets involved.
All right. BOINC Pentathlon 2025. For 2 weeks, the LTT Forum BOINC team battled it out against other tech communities in the BOINC Pentathlon hosted by SETI Germany. This was our best showing yet with over 50 participants, and we secured silver overall, which is our highest placement in all 7 pentathlons we've entered. Huge thanks to everyone who joined in and put their hardware to work for a good cause. You can head to linustechtips.com to join in on upcoming folding events and contribute some computing power for science. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, we can talk about minors now. Just a minor issue. Texas age verification law. On May 27th, Texas Governor Greg Abbott signed a bill into law that requires Apple and Google to verify the age of users in order for them to use their App Store. This law will go into effect January 1st, that's like 7 months to figure out a problem nobody has solved yet.
That
Hold on,
might
we'll get to that.
sound like a long time for you. It's like not at all.
That is like nothing. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Will go into effect January 1st. And for users under the age of 18, they will be required to have parental consent in order to download apps. An Apple spokesperson gave a statement right away saying, "We believe there are better proposals that help keep kids safe without requiring millions of people to turn over their personal information." Google has not yet made a response. This bill is intended to assist in KOSA, the Kids Online Safety Act, which is meant to help protect children online and protect them from social media apps.
The general concept, man, trust me, I super agree with.
The same Apple spokesperson spoke up about the concern with privacy and the need for this to even download apps like weather updates and sporting apps.
No, I don't care about the second part.
Yeah, I don't think I care too much about that. Hold on. I don't know why my comments didn't make it into the notes here. So here's my initial take is, I'm not even fundamentally opposed to the idea that children should not be able to make in-app purchases and should not be able to download random apps without parental consent.
Sure.
I would even, I would be open to something like the equivalent of ESRB for apps. So if you have a minor account, then this app contains mature content. I think
they already
that
have
is
that type of stuff.
Yeah, but I'd be okay with an actual standards board rather than just leaving it to Apple and Google to police this.
Yeah.
So instead of just being
it's a lot of self-reporting.
Yeah,
to be honest.
Block things that have been reported as bad. It would be more of a explicitly allow things that have actually been vetted. I'd be totally down for that. I don't think that gambling should be allowed. Teen? Why?
I don't remember why.
Okay.
I think it's user...
Diverse content.
Diverse content.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think it's because we have UGC, user-generated content.
Yep, that makes sense.
So,
shoot, what was I going to say? Right. So I personally, I think anything with loot box, gotcha, any kind of gambling elements should automatically be for mature audiences only. I'd be totally on board with that.
So sideload a VPN.
But it's always hilarious to me when administrations that claim to be anti-regulation, right? Anti-big government, put extremely burdensome regulation in place with zero concrete plan for how that could possibly be executed.
And really not a lot of time for these enormous, slow companies to try to figure this out.
How the fuck are they going to do this?
Especially in a way that's like safe and okay for the kids.
And well, not just the kids, everyone.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to verify kids, you basically have to verify everyone. How do you verify kids without verifying everybody?
That you're not a kid. Yeah.
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 So all of a sudden, this is gonna be like a Texas-sized honeypot. Get it? Because it's in Texas.
Yeah.
It's a Texas law.
It's pretty good.
So and that everything's bigger in Texas. So
Yeah.
dude, it's true though. I went there for not the first time, but the first time that I like went there and like drove around and stuff, and like they have gas stations that are bigger than our
dude.
Costco's.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, sure.
And then there will be one like on the other side of the street too, just in case.
By the way,
Wild.
it turns out, yeah, thanks, clapped. I am not bigger in Texas. I am exactly the same size there. Perhaps if I'd been born in Texas and, suckled on
That might not have been true.
barbecue.
You might have had a lot to eat while you were there.
Yeah.
You might have been a little bit bigger.
Oh, yeah, I'm not taller,
You
probably.
weren't playing badminton while you were there.
Okay, I might have been a little bigger.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, okay. That's stupid. Yeah. So
Speaking of stupid,
this is dumb. Is there anything else for us to talk about here other than just like
not really.
I don't
It's
think
not very well thought out.
I don't think I would trust any state or provincial level government to just hold an online registry that is supposed to be secure, but also clearly linked with Google and Apple systems if there's going to be any kind of handoff and enforcement of this.
Oh, you wait, you think the
Like-
state's going to do anything? I don't think so
So
at
what,
all.
they're just mandating that Apple and Google need to maintain these databases?
I think so.
That's even more
there's
insane.
no part in this where they're saying that they're going to do anything about it.
This is so dumb.
I suspect it's going to be like an upload your ID type of situation.
This is so dumb. This is so dumb. You could upload any ID.
Oh yeah, a forged one too.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, and like, are Apple and Google really incentivized to really
Not
make
even a
sure
little.
that it's not forged?
Not
also,
even a little.
damn son, it's a lot easier to forge a digital document than a physical one. Like if you have to forge an actual ID, a physical ID that's like on plastic and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. To be clear, that's very doable too.
Oh yeah, it has been for many a year.
Just forging a like crappy cell phone picture of one is definitely easier than forging a real
Yeah.
convincing shiny UV light at it one.
Yeah, for sure. So
I don't know, man. Can I just take a moment here though to say that I've seen dumb politicians from every party. This just happens to be
Oh yeah,
a super dumb proposal from a particular party. And I find the irony of we are the party of small government. Oh, by the way, tech giants need to collect even more, must by law collect even more personal information about our citizens. Delicious.
we're in like an extremely
That is like irony. That is delicious irony. Delicious.
we're in a time of extreme unrest and frustrations, like globally, and I think it's I can't personally think of a government that the people under said government are like stoked on right now, and I also can't really think of like a party trying to get in that everyone's like, yes, I'm very excited about this. What I usually am seeing is I'm excited about change, not that I'm excited about the thing that's replacing it.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh goodness, I need this thing that's currently here gone, and I'm excited that this other thing might come in and take it away, not I'm excited that this other thing is so good.
Yeah, we were
like,
talking about this
things are
recently.
rough.
There's a lot of that. Like we're seeing these vast pendulum swings.
Yep.
Just because people
Things aren't
are
working.
super frustrated with whether it's
Which is valid.
inflation or other economic hardship.
Aging populations, so a lot of the paying to support those aging populations is on a more youthful population that has been massively disadvantaged compared to said populations that they are now supporting,
And
which is
also-
a very frustrating situation to be in.
and is disadvantaged in terms of numbers.
Yeah. It's tough out there. We're also dealing with a massive overspending globally from governments for a very extended period of time.
And in many cases for no reason. So now that things are challenging and we actually like need to spend, the coffers are empty.
And not only are the coffers empty, but you have extreme amounts of debt that you're servicing constantly. And this is like, to be clear, I'm not talking about Canada. I'm not talking about the States. I'm talking about practically the whole world. Like what is it, Sweden that has that sovereign wealth fund that is just like a Norway. Yeah, that's right. Where they're just like rolling in it. Yeah, I'm not talking about them. They're as far as I can tell, they're doing great. Where's it? Yeah. You go to their website, you go to the Norway Bank Investment Management website, and just right on the front, they're like, "What up?
19 trillion.
We're doing sick."
Whatever a knock is.
Knock. Yeah, let's see.
What's a knock? You got this. Can he even compute?
Dude, you can't.
When he's jet-lagged?
It won't do it. You can't just like triple click.
Luke can't even compute when he's jet lagged.
You can't triple click it. That's so annoying.
Why would you highlight knock?
Because I am going to do this.
Okay, what is this? 2.5
a decimal
trillion here. Canadian dollars.
Just
literally, it couldn't even display on one line.
Yeah. Well, there's cents.
Yeah, but look, it's 2 lines.
Yeah, that's true.
Still.
These are
That's wild.
But that's so baller, dude. Holy. And as far as my understanding goes, something that's really funny about this is apparently there was, and I could be wrong with this, I don't know, I'm not Norwegian, but apparently there's Norwegian people frustrated that like, the whole tariff thing going on in the States, but they're frustrated because American stocks are going down, and this Norway fund is like invested in American stocks, so they're like, damn it, America, fix your economy. Our stock investments aren't doing as well.
Hey,
figure it out.
Hey, come on.
Yeah, so they show, like, again, these are their investments.
Right, yeah.
Exxon, Apple, Microsoft, NVIDIA. Like, this is a lot of American stuff.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Alphabet, yeah.
We own a share of the world's largest companies. Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Dan wants us to do sponsors. Let's do one more topic real quick first. WWDC 2025 is almost here. iOS and macOS are rumored to switch up their numbers to match the upcoming year, which means, the upcoming year. Oh, really? So iOS and macOS 26 would be incoming this year? Okay. Oh man. So I was ready to be really excited about this because this actually makes it really easy to tell like how old something is. Apple is not my friend normally when it comes to their naming schemes. They're really good about some stuff. Like iPhone is super clear. It's the iPhone.
Well,
there's a number on it that indicates the generation.
Sometimes.
And it's plus if it's big, or max if it's really big, and
maybe
also
it's an X.
Pro if it's like more better or something. You can kind of break it down.
One time.
You can kind of break it down. Whereas a lot of their other stuff, it's like, this is Mac Pro. It's like, what fucking Mac Pro is it? Does it even have expansion slots and removable memory? I don't know. Well, okay, they all have expansion slots, I think. Oh, no, they don't. Right, because the trash can didn't. So, like, what even is it? I don't know. It's Mac Pro, and sometimes we put a year on it, and sometimes we just don't. But I was pretty into this as long as it was going to be the year of it actually being okay. You know what? No, this makes sense, because if they're announcing it at WWDC 25, then that means it would actually be the OS that they're rolling in 2026. So actually, I love it. I actually really like this. There's a Vision OS inspired interface coming to all Apple devices called Solarium. This will be a big overhaul. These are rumors, by the way. Hoping to modernize and unify operating systems across their product line. I have a hard time imagining how you would unify the experience in Vision OS with devices that, go in your pocket or sit on your lap or whatever. Vision OS 3 apparently is also coming. Not much is known, but they're allegedly working on an eye scrolling feature for the Vision Pro. What they really need to work on is this thing is not horrible to wear feature for the Vision Pro, and just getting out of the way of the developers of adult content, because we all know that that's what people are using these devices for. But
it drives most technology.
I mean, most. Come on, it does not drive.
It
most
drove cameras.
technology.
It drove a lot of PC stuff. It drove a lot of phones. You're right. It's not most technology, but it's like a massive percentage of consumer electronics.
Isn't that basically why VHS won?
Yeah, if I remember correctly. Like, it's a really big driver of tech.
Anyway.
Waterproof electronics too. Yep, never thought about that.
There's apparently a dedicated gaming app also on the way. The software will serve as a launcher for titles and centralize in-game achievements, leaderboards, communications, and other activity. Oh, cool. It's the Windows Games folder thing. This will replace Game Center, which debuted in 2010. This isn't in the thing for WWDC rumors, but Apple bought a game studio. And it's based in Vancouver. Apple bought a Vancouver game studio for the first time. Apparently, this is according to Yahoo Finance. Apple bought a game studio, and it is a 2-person team behind the game Sneaky Sasquatch.
What? What?
I think this is verbal irony. Apparently, Sneaky Sasquatch is really good. I've never tried it.
No, that's sick, and I'm happy for the 2 people. It's just like, how did they? That's so random.
Like, you're Apple, okay? You have Apple money, and you're like, we're going to take gaming seriously. We're going to work on all this, developer assistance to help them, get things running on Metal. And we're going to build GPUs that are super powerful into our chips. So you're going to know that if there's any Apple device, it's got a powerful GPU. We're the leader in mobile gaming monetization, and we've got Apple money. We're going to make an investment. We're going to buy a developer. We're buying Sneaky Sasquatch.
Yeah.
Sean Float says it's a great game, which is fine, but just like, you have Apple money.
Like, how did this? The thing that I'm getting stuck on is, how did this even happen? Like, do one of the people behind this, one of the 2 people behind this game, know somebody in the acquisition department at Apple?
I mean, I'm sure they have relationships with people at Apple. It was apparently at the top of the App Store for a while, and
hell yeah.
My only speculation is that Apple wants to go hard on gaming, and they just want these 2 people to do it or something. Because there's
so much
way.
Weight.
There's no way they're just buying this 2-person studio so that they can own Sneaky Sasquatch 2. The sneaking.
Oh, yeah.
I
wonder. That's a lot.
I'm sure they'd be
pressure
happy to
for
just take 30% of their sales.
2 people.
That's been the Apple model. Why would we buy a game developer when we can take more profit than they're going to make?
Do you think this is them just being really mad at Epic? Mr. Tim?
No, I don't think this has anything to do with that. This must have been in progress for ages.
Might not have had to be. It's only 2 people.
Yeah, but what would Tim Sweeney have to do with this?
Oh, them just wanting to be more competitive in games so they can try to poop on Fortnite.
I guess, but
2 Sneaky 2 Squatch. That is a pretty great name for the second game.
That is actually a really good name. All right. Anywho, WWDC.
Nice.
We should talk about the sponsors for the show. What's the matter with your current power supply? Maybe it's not a Seasonic. Their Prime series of PSUs just won the year's Best PSU award presented by the European Hardware Association, which makes them the reigning champ 4 years in a row, with options ranging from 450 watts to 2,200 watts. There's a PSU for just about everyone. Plus, Are all primes fully modular? It says all primes are fully modular, so I'm going to go with that. And come with 12-year warranties. They even showed off a wild addition to their lineup at Computex that's built for AI applications, a 3200-watt PSU that is 80 plus platinum certified that has 6 12-volt 2x6 connectors, 6 of them. Expect that to launch sometime toward the end of the year. Speaking of Computex, they had their new OptiSync and OptiGuard technologies on display. Super cool stuff that you should learn more about by watching the video we made there. We'll link that below for y'all. Bottom line is no matter which Seasonic power supply you get, you'll be backed by cutting-edge tech and reliability, not to mention a comprehensive warranty, and most importantly, a team that cares. Learn more by going to seasonic.com. That's sea like the ocean, Sonic like a blue mammal.com. What am I looking at? Is this actual? This is not their actual marketing collateral, right? Can't be.
Oh, it's got to be.
Okay. The show is also brought to you by Enable. You know what's built different? A gorilla that can take on 100 humans.
Oh.
Also, N-Central, an endpoint management solution by Enable. Everything stems from what they've dubbed an infinity core, where, unlike with a certain purple fellow, the focus is on data-driven flexibility and being able to break past rigid workflows, templates, and absolutes. Get access to simple drag-and-drop workflow elements and AI-assisted scripting, all designed to make things as easy as possible to automate. But N-Central isn't just a set-it-and-forget-it software. You probably don't want to be forgetting anything when it comes to cybersecurity and management. That's why you get a whole slew of industry-tested dashboards, as well as the ability to customize your own. And that's on top of regular scans of 800-plus apps, reliable patching, automated security deployment, role-based access, and more protection tools to simplify cyber resilience. Start running IT the way you want with N-Central. Check it out using our link today. We'll have that down below. Finally, the show is brought to you by Proton. If you're tired of being chained to ecosystems owned by giant tech companies, you're not alone. While we use a myriad of different industry standard suites here at LMG, let's be honest, we can't say for 100% certainty that we know every single thing that they're using our data for. Well, Proton's mission is to let you take back control of your information. They have a large suite of tools for things like password management and cloud storage, but we want to highlight their mail app. Proton Mail, like the rest of their services, focuses on a major concern in today's age: privacy. With features like zero-access encryption, email tracker blocking, and built-in phishing protection, you can send and receive emails with an extra layer of security. In fact, even Proton can't access your mail. Combine that with an unlimited number of email aliases, no wonder Colton keeps on getting rehired. And you can get started today for free. The paid plan does offer a few more features, but it's your choice if you want to upgrade, just like you should be able to choose who's looking at your data. Learn more today by clicking our link in the video description. All right, what do you want to do for our next topic? Luke took an art class.
We're going to just, yeah.
I bet you sucked at it.
Next topic is off topic?
No, just this one.
Oh, well,
Yep.
Okay. If we're just doing that one,
I told Luke he literally went to a country, sort of. It's complicated.
Yeah.
He went to a place for the sole purpose of going on a hike and taking an art class.
That's not true.
That's all you told me you were doing there. You were there for one day.
Yeah, because I was going to China.
Well, yeah, but like you were in that other place for one day.
Yeah.
So
it was like 18 hours or something.
So
it was
you were there
effectively a really long layover. And I had to sleep for part of that.
So you were there for 18 hours.
Yeah.
During which you went on a hike and took an art class.
No.
I thought you went on... Oh, did you skip the hike?
Skip the art class.
Oh, you didn't even go? Oh.
I wanted to.
Okay, we had a conversation about this where I was like, you're taking an art class, you're probably going to suck at it. And then I was going to bug him on WAN show.
It was going to be calligraphy of like Chinese characters.
Yeah, you would be terrible at that.
Oh, yeah. I was just looking, I was like, I need to burn some time. I'm going to try to do these two things. So I did Dragon's Back, the hike, which is the reason I didn't do the art class, because I got off on the wrong bus stop for the hike.
Oh. And you did an extra hike? Or what?
Yeah, kind of, actually. It ended up being...
No. Binky Draws says, sucking at it is sort of the point of taking a class. No. He would never be good at it. He could do nothing but practice calligraphy for the rest of his life, and he would still suck at it. I don't think there is anything that any person could be less talented at than, like, art and him. And to be clear, I'm right there with them. Like, I'm right there.
I was going to say, this isn't even that bad because
We're both awful.
I know he's not just targeting this at only me because I technically won all of the tech showdowns except for when we went against Bob and Rod.
Yeah, but that was like...
That was doomed.
I mean, they were both terrible.
That was doomed.
And
to
the
fail.
judging was just f***ed. Like, that was whatever.
Yeah. I'm trying to find a...
You're trying to find which video of you walking through bushes is the right one?
So this was the trail that I was on for like a very extended period of time.
Okay, that looks like a trail, but was it?
You see how it is now where you like can't see the ground at all because clearly no one has been through there for like a very extended period of time.
Okay, so that's not a famous trail, that's for sure.
No, and Dragon's Back is rather well known. Yeah, so that wasn't even on the map. And technically, when I was going through that section, I was just hoping that it would work out. Again, I got dropped off. So I got dropped off at like a camping barbecue area, not the like Dragon's Back trail start.
Nice.
But I was like, I mean, it's up there, and I saw like some gravel kind of coming out of the trees.
Nice.
Not real gravel, just like, stray
Fake
rocks.
gravel.
It looked like maybe someone had pushed their way through the trees at some point. And I was like, I will follow in the footsteps of this previous
You're
person.
lucky you didn't die.
There's partway through the recording where I'm like, I'm very happy I'm wearing pants and stuff because there was like loads of bugs and other random things that I'm like wading through as I'm going through these bushes. And I'm like, this is bad. So
You really are lucky you didn't get lost.
Oh, I mean, I'm going straight up from the road. So if it was bad, I'll just turn around and go back to the road.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm pretty sure those are famous last words. It will be no problem if I just march into the jungle because I will just turn around and go out.
To
be clear, I'm not familiar with where you were. Maybe it wasn't that big.
This is how dark the end
Yeah.
of the hike was.
Okay. So
For context, this screen's just effectively black.
yeah. You shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have done that.
Like at least probably about an hour into the hike, I was having the thought of like, it's weird. I'm in Hong Kong. The population density is really high here. This is a like not a super complicated, like not very difficult hike. It's just supposed to be mostly scenic. And it's very well known. You
And
can
I
find it
haven't
online
seen
really easily.
anyone.
And I have seen literally no people this entire time. This is weird. I was sure I was on the right hike because I'm constantly seeing signs and stuff, but I was like, why is no one here? And then for the last like half hour, I just can't see almost anything. For the last particularly 5 minutes, I'm moving like very slow because I can't actually see the ground properly. And I'm trying to make sure I don't fall.
You realize if you die, I lose like 4 people, right?
Yeah, probably a little more than that. I made it. Everything's fine.
Wait, what are all your different roles? Okay, so I lose my CTO, head of labs.
So I have 5 departments.
My friend. You have 5 departments? That's
Technically,
ridiculous. I don't want to talk about it.
We're working on shrinking that.
Okay, what else do we want to talk about today?
Yeah, so I didn't. The other really annoying thing that happened while I was there was I wanted to do laundry. The hotel didn't have laundry. So I asked, like, where can I go do laundry?
I think it's my fault that he needed to do laundry, so that's pretty funny. Do tell the story.
It's your fault?
Yeah, didn't I?
That's fine.
Didn't I drag you out?
Yeah, it was
when
fun.
you were supposed
I
to
had
be
a good
doing
time.
laundry. Yeah.
But yeah, I had to do laundry. They said, okay, no, the hotel did have laundry, but it took 12 hours. They're like, yeah, we pick it up at 7 in the morning for whatever reason, and then we drop it off at 7 at night. I was like, well, I have to leave before then, so that's not an option.
Yeah.
So what other laundry can I do? And the lady at the desk is like, oh, well, there's 24-hour coin-operated laundry. I was like, yeah, of course. That's like everywhere in the world. That's how I do it in Taiwan. Sounds good. And she's like, it's coin-operated, though. Do you have any coins? I was like, no. She's like, do you have cash? I was like, yeah. She's like, okay, I can convert your cash for you before you go. Here it is on a map. Cool. She converted my cash. I went. Turns out it is not a coin-operated laundry, and
Nice.
there are none, by the way.
Oh, nice.
The place that I went to only works off these things called octopus cards.
Oh, okay. Are you sure it's not like a social credit card?
It might
Get it?
It might
Social credit
be,
card?
yeah,
Credit card?
and spend some
Like a social credit
on,
card because you're not
yeah.
allowed to do laundry unless you're a good person.
Yeah.
Hong Kong crackdown.
Yeah. I went to go get one of those octopus card things.
Sure.
You can buy an octopus card with a credit card.
Mm-hmm.
First 7-Eleven I go to doesn't have any in stock. The corner stores
Nice.
are much less frequent there than in Taiwan, so I had to go quite a bit to get to the next one. The next one had them in stock, but you can't load them at the 7-Elevens with your credit card. You can buy the card, but you can't put any money on the card. You can only use cash.
Oh, no, that's the thing in Taiwan, too. You have to use cash to load the card. I couldn't figure out why.
That's not true.
One of the Family Mart told us that. I don't know, man.
Oh, maybe at the Family Mart.
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, maybe at the Family Mart you can. I don't know. There's elsewhere you can for sure. So they're like, oh yeah, we only take cash. So I'm like, all right. So I pull out my insane amount of coins that I have, and they're like, oh no, cash, bills. And I'm like, are you actually kidding me? So luckily I had 150 whatever Hong Kong dollar HKD bill.
Yeah.
So I gave them that. I had no idea how much the laundry would cost, and I convinced them by probably being very annoying to take at least 50 total Hong Kong dollars worth of coins. So I was able to get 100 Hong Kong dollars on my card.
Yeah.
Which is not a lot of money. And I went back to the laundromat and was very lucky that it was, I think it was like 78 to do a wash and dry cycle. So I was like,
nice.
But this was, so I left the hotel. You could tell it was pretty late when I was hiking. I left the hotel to do this at like 11:30. I didn't get back to the hotel until like 3.
You're ridiculous.
Because of this whole problem.
But it was an adventure, right?
Yeah.
I mean, your whole trip was basically an adventure.
Yeah, it was not the best trip of all time, I'll say that. Especially when paired with like one of the most like lackluster Computexes ever.
Yeah. There
was really good parts of the trip.
Yeah.
But just not most of it. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of Computex, on Taiwan show last week, I launched into a whole thing about how like I gave Intel the gears for lack of availability of their GPUs in the US at MSRP, and something that I had actually intended to highlight as part of that segment, but I was pretty tired and stuff, was that even though there aren't any B580s for MSRP, there is technically a card in stock on Newegg for under $300. B580 with 12 gigs of DDR6 at $299. Yeah, it's not at MSRP, but it's finally happening.
Kind of coming down a little bit.
It's finally happening. And Onyx is not as random as I thought. It is alleged that Onyx is affiliated in some way with PC Partner. So PC Partner is also affiliated with Sapphire Technology and Zotac.
My computer knows what I like. Yes.
Yeah, not that kind of Onyx. Yeah, this is according to Tom's Hardware. They're not actually a new player in the AIB market. There's some kind of relationship that they may or may not allegedly have with PC Partner Group, who have been around forever.
Yeah.
In other news, prices for GeForce RTX 5090 cards are starting to dip. RTX 5090s are starting to dip below MSRP in parts of Europe. Videocards.net reports prices from a major Finnish reseller have dropped 2% below the €2,339 MSRP, and mentions anecdotally similar price drops in other countries. Our discussion question is, do you think this is a sign of broader pricing correction or just a regional oddity? Well, I can tell you, I don't remember what the source was, but allocate gaming GPUs to B300 or something like that. Yeah, I don't know what the source is, but I did read today that NVIDIA was apparently looking to allocate more of their production to their upcoming Blackwell AI accelerators and take some away from GeForce. So that is a rumor. That is a rumor. I don't know if that's true.
Makes sense.
Yeah, you know how it is with NVIDIA. So anyway, good guy Intel. I still haven't heard what their plan is for how they're going to get down to MSRP. They do still owe me that, but things are getting marginally better out there. Oh, so marginally. So marginally. Do you guys want to talk about robot boxing while I run to the washroom? Cool.
What?
Good chat. Real steel is real.
Oh, got it. Robot boxing?
I think I saw this video.
Oh, I assumed this was about the new steel tariffs. But okay.
Sorry, Linus.
It's not about the new steel tariffs, which is great. I'm happy to hear that. A couple days ago, CMG China Media Group, heavily inspired by Linus Media Group, hosted the first humanoid robot fighting tournament. Sick. The robots are bipedal, meaning they walk on two legs, and are human-controlled from the sidelines. They still use some autonomous controls for balancing and regaining balance in case of a stumble. That totally makes sense. So they like kind of keep themselves up, but the human decides when to like punch, I'm assuming.
Oh, so it's just kind of like battle bots, but they stand up.
I think so.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's not as exciting.
What did you expect?
That they were just AI fighting robots.
Oh, just fully?
Just 100%.
We might get there eventually.
Give another couple of weeks.
Yeah. The bots in this particular fight, they're surprisingly light. The bots in this particular fight were the company Unitary Robotics flagship models, which stand at 1.3 meters or 4'4" and weigh 35 kilograms or 77 pounds.
I mean, the fact that they can maintain standing up by themselves while just punching at things is pretty sick.
Yeah.
You want to throw the video up there?
Sure.
The first link's timestamped.
Cool.
Like, you know, sure, maybe the humans make them punch each other, but the fact that they can hold their own.
There's no. It's not Q-op, right? Like they're definitely not controlling its ability to stand.
Oh yeah.
Dude, they got locked up. I'm wondering how much of the derpiness is I'm wondering how much of the derpiness is the human controllers being bad. Like, because if you go back to where this started, like one of them just faces the wrong way. Like he's literally just facing the wrong way for like a very extended period of time.
Oh yeah, maybe it's just turn around.
There we go. Now they're doing it.
Kind of cool.
Interesting.
It's going to be great for like control systems. Go back to the camera here.
I'm skimming the comments, and one of the top comments is, "To be honest, this degree of camera control is already body control is already very excellent." Yeah,
I think that's quite incredible.
That is pretty legitimate. I don't think anyone's really gonna like. It's an interesting show of your tech. It's not surprising to me that these are two of the same company because they're probably trying to show their tech off. I suspect this is more advertising more than anything. I don't think people are going to get into watching this too much.
No, give them glizzies. Give them a little gun and then set them in a ring. And now we're talking. I want military contractors on this. I don't really push the technology forward.
I think if you started including like shoulder-mounted rockets, people would watch.
Oh hell yeah! Just a full sprint around.
It needs like intense
spikes explosions. On the knees and the
running on the walls while shooting rockets off the shoulders. Yeah, like people are gonna watch that. But unless it's like an insane spectacle, I think people only really care if other humans are involved and like, as screwy as this sounds, experiencing pain and loss, because it's the drama of combat is a thing that has enticed people forever. But just having two machines clank into each other, like I'm not surprised there wasn't much of an in-person audience, you know?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, Boston Dynamics is going to come in with their creepy new one, maybe?
Boston Dynamics has been kind of weird for a while. It feels like they kind of fell off in a weird way. Like if you look at the stuff that they were releasing quite a while ago compared to the stuff that they're releasing now, it's like, yeah, I think you slowed down a little bit. Unless they're doing some of their stuff more behind doors. Discussion question: can we buy a pet robot dog for the office? I'm assuming I know. Oh, this is from the same company. This isn't Boston Dynamics. Yeah, see, like other people are doing the same stuff they're doing.
Oh yeah, God, they're getting terrifyingly cheap.
They're getting
Like,
not insanely expensive.
without the controller is like no money.
Without the control, how are you even supposed to do anything with it?
I don't know.
Oh, the controller's $250. There are Xbox controllers that are more expensive than that. An Air? What is the Air? It doesn't change the picture. All right. Well, yeah, that's pretty nuts.
I don't like our future.
Another question is, can you brainstorm other sports you would love to see robots compete in that could be on par or more interesting than a human doing it? That's the whole crux of my issue is I don't think it's like basically ever more interesting than a human doing it because there's so
What?
much more drama.
Strong disagree.
It's like space travel.
Well, once they're like sprinting,
People don't care unless there's people in the rocket.
Well,
well, they're going to have to hurt each other. Like, it's got to be violent.
yeah, that's
Give them robot blood.
if the robots like are like throwing parts and leaking coolant and stuff, like in ways that, you know, we like if we could satisfy that
The problem is
gladiatorial
Gladiator?
battle,
Yeah, gladiator.
like bloodlust that we have.
The problem is robots don't like work that way.
well, yeah.
So you'd have to
So
like
make them work that way.
be that way,
Yeah.
but then it would be fake.
So
No, it's not about the fakeness.
people love stuff like that.
I want to see them like sprinting around a coliseum,
We
like
were
trying
talking,
to
like-
knife each other.
We were talking
my
like
goal.
if it was more, if there was like explosions and stuff involved and it was faster,
Give them guns. Give them guns.
that it might be interesting for people. But I don't know. Like the space travel one was very interesting to me. Like if there isn't a human on the rocket, people like don't watch and don't care.
This is true.
Yeah, but we celebrated like the Mars rover birthday, and then people were crying when it was.
Yeah,
I mean, I think those people are very emotionally invested.
they're empaths.
Yes.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be riots about robot rights for this.
I love how hard they tried to make it look like anyone was watching this.
Yeah, there's like
Like
10
with all the
people.
lights and like everything else blacked out, and then they have the like couple rows of people
Yeah,
that are probably like the siblings of the, you know,
and various employees.
there are parts of this that are really impressive, and I do think that
Oh yeah,
That's
once
sick.
these evolve a little bit, I could be interested in this from like BattleBots exists. People clearly like watching robots fight each other.
BattleBots is, in my opinion, a fascination in people's ability to engineer wacky little robots.
Yes.
Not
It's
very statically humanoid-looking things
who
just
can
punching each other.
glue a knife to the top of an RC car the best?
Who can make it spin at like some insane RPM so that when it hits something else, it just explodes? Like it's
So we need
it's-
that, but humanoid robots. That would really push the technology
So
forward.
you need Grievous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd watch the heck out of two Grievuses fighting each
Oh
other.
my God.
You get
I would
Hacksmith
pay
involved, and
so much.
They have 4 of the Hacksmiths.
Yeah. Hacksmith versus
right, I'm
Boston
sold.
Dynamics.
I'm in.
Skunk
or
Works.
like one Hacksmith lightsaber Grievous versus 100, you know, little horse-sized ducks or duck-sized horse robots or something. You
Give
know,
That's
the
good, too.
dog
That's pretty
robots
good,
like
too.
teeth. Turn them into the gladiatorial lions.
like I think you could come up with interesting angles for it.
100 robot Grievuses versus 1 robot gorilla.
Yeah, now we're talking.
Yeah, I think the gorilla's pretty boned.
Yeah, but they don't feel pain.
Do they have
don't
lightsabers?
know.
Because I think
don't
the
know.
gorilla's pretty boned.
We'll have to see. A robot, like a proportionally scaled up robot gorilla, might be a lot to
But
deal
it's
with.
made of titanium and has like
Yeah.
retractable spike
A
hands.
proportionally scaled Grievous would be big. Like, and he
He's so spindly.
He has 4 lightsabers. What are you even talking
I'm
about?
deciding in this context that Grievous is more
4
human-sized
chainsaws.
instead
How
of
about that?
actually Grievous sized.
Duck-sized
Removing the Grievous
chainsaws.
posts.
I am, yeah.
All right, what are we even
Hope I don't move them further.
updates. This is cool. There's some good news from Microsoft. Microsoft is opening applications to third-party developers for a private preview of the Windows Update Orchestration program, which will allow Windows to manage updates automatically for any apps, drivers, system components, and management tools, not just ones from the Microsoft Store. Built on the Windows Update stack, this new update model will handle restart requirements, scheduling, and notifications without devs needing to build a custom solution. Discussion question: is this something you want? Any concerns? Yes, this is something I personally want.
Yeah, sure.
The fact that I ever have to go digging for a driver on Windows is mind-blowing to me, that this hasn't been a focus. And it clearly has been a focus. It just hasn't been enough of a focus. If like, even on like a brand new system, like occasionally you'll get like some weird like, oh man, it's escaping me right now. Why is it escaping me? Like management engine driver or something like that. It's like, this is an Intel CPU that they're shifting millions of a year. This should just be included in Windows. What are we even doing? Like, what are we even doing here? I'm super down. I have some people saying, hey, drivers I'm into, applications, not so much. That is fair, but I think it really depends on the context. Like if I still have a pirated, Adobe CS6 or something like that, obviously I don't want Windows touching it. But I think for a lot of stuff, like this is basically what enthusiasts are doing already with stuff like Chocolatey, where they're just automating the updating of their apps through like a package manager, right? So if that could just happen, yeah.
This feels like a natural evolution.
JR Diver says it needs to be opt-in for both. Totally agree. Sure, fine. It can be opt-in or whatever, but
I would even be fine with this being opt-out, to be honest.
Yeah, I think I'd be fine with this one being opt-out. But as long as it's as long as you have the ability to turn it off, I think that's fine. And I think it's a power feature user to turn this off, honestly.
Yep.
Most people generally, I think,
don't
benefit
care at all and just want their stuff to be updated
from their apps being up to date. Yeah. I'm into it.
Me too.
Um,
Discord ponders the orb.
Sure.
It hungers for users to click on more ads. Discord has launched the Orb program, which will reward users with orbs, or a digital currency, of course. They can use to buy stuff from Discord's shop, like customization options and credits for Nitro, the platform's premium subscription. Currently only available to a small group of Discordians, maybe? I don't know. Users can earn orbs by participating in play quests, which currently includes interacting with advertiser content like streams of people playing sponsored games. The program is part of Discord's larger move towards monetizing the platform more effectively, or practically at all, because I swear Nitro has never kept them afloat, but whatever, which will include video ads in the mobile app. Discord has said it's closely tracking the awareness, recall, and intent of users in regards to those ads.
So how long will Discord last?
Yeah, discussion question is this a justifiable move? And it's like...
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't think they're making money, so...
No, so they have to do something.
Something has to give. I don't... It's amazing to me how often we ask the question of, hey, can they do that? When we're not paying for the service.
Even when you are paying for the service.
Like, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Well, when you're paying for the service, like, no, they can't do that. Like, that sucks. Like, if I'm paying for Netflix and they start putting ads all over it, no, I think that blows.
Unless in their contract it says that it has no ads.
Well, they can. Yeah, no, they can do it. But no, personally, I do think there's a big difference between using a free service and then whining about the ads in it versus a paid service.
Offer a discounted rate with ads and then just crank the rates up like crazy so that the lower discounted rate with ads is just as expensive as it used to be. Because I'm pretty sure that's basically what happened.
It sucks, but I'm just saying there's a difference between using something for
Netflix. Leave now.
There's a difference between using something for free and whining about it having ads versus paying for something and then complaining that it has ads. Those are not the same thing to me.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I would love if Microsoft just formalized Windows being free. Like, you can download it for free and install it with no product key and use it basically forever. I'd love it if they just formalized that, made the free version, loaded up with ads. I don't care. And a lot of people wouldn't care. They would just use it. And then if I'm paying for it, get Bejeweled and all your crap out of it. And if it costs more, honestly, I think I'd be okay with that too. Would you pay double? Would you pay pro price, like $250?
Yes.
For a completely clean Windows?
Can't express how much better life would be if there was a Windows, but it's not actually edition.
Like actually pro.
And they got rid of Like, give me Space Pinball back and Solitaire and some stuff like that. Just build it into the operating system like it used to be. Don't make me go through stupid Microsoft Store games for Windows junk in order to get there. Give me Clipchamp.
Are you asking for bloat?
But don't call it Clipchamp, and don't make it so that it has to interface with the internet for some weird reason, and don't make it so there's like a subscription to it and other crap like that. Just make it for free, even though I'm paying a more premium price for the software.
Oh, I see.
Get the stupid ads out of there.
Yeah, but the antitrust. They
Stop
can't put...
search looking on the freaking internet when I type anything into search ever. That should never work.
But they can't integrate too much stuff. That's literally what they got antitrusted for. So I don't think like asking
Well,
for...
they integrated Clipchamp.
Okay, yes.
Clipchamp is on your computer, I think. Is it not?
Oh, yeah.
Well, mine just says no results because search is f***ing worthless.
I tried to open it and it wants me to sign in.
Like, stop just being so bad at so many things. Oh, man.
Luke, does your laptop not do the web search?
I don't, it won't do any search. It won't find Clipchamp at all.
Okay.
It just has no results. I'm pretty sure it's installed.
I mean,
because I think it's installed by default, is it not?
Because I may have neutered...
Why does he have it?
I may have neutered these, and maybe I didn't neuter yours properly.
Dude, I was working...
I hate search. So
I was working on a video before this, and I was trying to open frame view so that I could have an FPS counter on my gaming capture.
Yeah.
And it opened, and everything was fine. And then we had to reboot the system for some reason. And I searched for frame view, and it couldn't find it. And then I closed the start menu. Literally, I typed exactly all of it. I typed the entirety of frame view. And then Jordan was like, no, it's installed. We were just using it. I was like, yeah, no, I know. You're 100% right. And then I clicked and went into like recent applications, and it was totally there. And then I think we had to like close the game and start the game. I don't know. We did something, and then we searched for it again, and it was there. And it's like, oh my God, that is not how a search index is supposed to work. It should be consistent. It should work every time.
I don't know, man. Microsoft has been...
How did we end up talking about Microsoft? We're supposed to be talking about Discord, but yes.
I don't know. Microsoft has been frustrating me a lot for a while now. Like, Teams is it's okay. It's frustrating because Google screwed up so hard with chat. Like, I can't even express how insane that was. And then for some reason, they let Salesforce buy Slack. I will never understand. Because if they just bought Slack and just integrated into Google Workspace, it would be GG. But they just didn't do it. So they're just losing. They're constantly losing. More and more people are going to Office 365 because it's way cheaper. And you get, in a lot of people's view, more stuff. Because Google Chat is not a proper replacement for Slack or Teams. I just don't believe it. If it was, more people would use it. And then Teams is so bad. And it's so bad for reasons that are like so obvious. Like I went to send you a scheduled message because I knew you were already back home and I'm still on Taiwan time. And I send the scheduled message. And as far as Teams is communicating to me, it just sent the message. It didn't schedule it. It shows the message as fully sent.
I have literally accidentally bugged people off hours because I thought my scheduled message didn't work properly.
You're like apologizing.
And then
that
I
accidentally. Yes.
Yeah.
And this has been a problem for so long. If you go to send a message to a group, like a new group of people, like I was messaging you and AJ the other day, I couldn't @tag either of you because the group doesn't exist yet, so it can't find the members of the group when I'm sending the message. Also, why can't you schedule a message to people that you don't have a group chat with yet? Why? When I attach things, why do I have to wait for it to upload before I can press the send button? Slack has had this working for years. You click the upload, you drag the drop the uploads over, it starts uploading, you press send, and it's just like, cool, I'll send the message when the upload's done.
Some of the stuff has logical reasons, like the one where you're not able to schedule to a group that hasn't existed before. That could have like anti-spam reasons. If it was an application that wasn't a paid application for professional organizations that pay for it. Right? Like if we were talking about Skype, yeah, I can understand why spammers could use something like that.
I have sent an email before to a group of people that in the email I requested, do not respond to this email, respond on Teams. I don't want to ping you right now, but I can't schedule this message. So read this email and then don't respond to it and go to Teams because I don't want this to be done in email. Just crazy. It's so insane that the most common, I'm assuming, I think this is true, the most common business communication tool in North America right now has so many deep problems. And this is so true as far as my understanding goes with a huge variety of Microsoft products right now. They're just not that good. They do a ton of different things, but just Windows these days, Teams, everything else is just OneDrive compared to Google Drive, you can't find anything in either of them, so that's not a competitive stance.
Do you remember when Satya Nadella was like, we want to make people love Windows again?
Yeah, you're not doing it, brother.
Yeah. Anyway.
And there's so many things that just I really don't think it's that hard to make.
We got him going.
Yeah, sorry. I don't think it's that hard to make really substantial improvements to these things. Fix that scheduled message bug. There's no way that's this has been a problem for years. Yeah. There's no way you can't fix that. And dude, I didn't want to wake you up, so I was panicking trying to get rid of this message, hoping that I could delete it before it would bother you.
Bold of you to assume that I would.
And then it was and then it was erroring while I'm trying to delete it because it didn't exist yet. So I'm like, why is it erroring? Why is this thing broken? So I close the whole application, open it again, get back to that message, and then finally it's I'm scheduled for whenever.
Nice.
Okay. Why is setting your away status so clunky? In Slack, it's 2 buttons. But then Slack costs more than all of Office 365. So no one's going to use it. Slack is such a fancy thing these days because Office 365 is so cheap.
Bougie chat.
And you probably need other features in it. And it comes with email and it comes with Teams. So it's practically impossible for IT teams to say hey, we should use Slack and Google Workspace. It's 4 times the price or something. That's never going to fly. So everyone basically has to go back down to Teams, which is why Teams is the most common thing, but then it just sucks. You're having these problems. Why does the authenticator have to be Microsoft Authenticator? Having Microsoft Authenticator and having that be an option is fine. And if you have some extra features there, because they do, great. But allow people to use whatever authenticator they want.
I do not want this to become a thing. That's honestly my biggest objection to Microsoft Authenticator, is that I don't want that to become a snowball that starts rolling.
You can use other authenticators for Microsoft accounts?
Is that something that we have screwed up in our administrator settings?
I believe, is it not allowed?
Not that I'm aware of.
I believed you.
Apparently,
if this is actually just you derping, that would be very funny.
Apparently you have to go into your account settings to change it.
Is that user level?
Why would I have to do that?
That's that's its own problem, to be completely honest.
Where do I change that?
Let me see.
Okay, settings, privacy, notification, Copilot, profile. I don't even see a security setting.
I'm assuming you can't do it through the app.
I mean, that makes sense. Yeah, where do you change this, guys?
It could be enforced if you're using conditional access. It might be an admin set thing. But I wonder if it's a multi-policy thing.
Well, we'll have to investigate because, it's... I do not want more than one MFA app on my phone.
We'll look into that.
Okay.
It might be an option. I'm not sure.
I still want to talk about Discord.
Sure.
What's our alternative?
I mean, everything else is basically dead.
What do we switch to if it gets too enshittified?
TeamSpeak still exists.
Okay.
And modern team. Hey, wait, hold on. Modern TeamSpeak looks clean and stuff. It looks kind of Discordy. Look at the UI. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
They've iterated. It's not exactly the same as it used to be. TeamSpeak also does have a corporate version.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Wait.
NASA
we moved the
uses
company
it.
to TeamSpeak.
NASA uses it.
Uh,
Their logo's on their website.
yeah.
Well,
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. NASA uses a variety of things, but I think mostly Teams.
Some guy uses it to play COD.
In other news, ASRock has kinda sorta admitted fault re the dead Ryzen 9000 X3D CPUs. After over 100 reports of Ryzen 9000 CPUs dying or experiencing performance issues when paired with ASRock motherboards, ASRock has finally acknowledged that yes, their hardware may have partially been to blame.
Sorry. Porto posted this in Floatplane chat. This is the TeamSpeak Twitter account. Oh, that's really good, actually.
Okay, thank you for that. Previously, the company had released confusing statements blaming the issues on memory config issues and on debris getting lodged in the CPU socket. But this week, YouTuber TechYesCity reported that ASRock's motherboard team told him the problem had to do with AMD's Precision Boost Overdrive feature. Without getting too technical, AMD's maximum supported PBO settings may have been too high, allowing ASRock's custom tuning within those parameters to be too aggressive. It's important to note that while the vast majority of dead 9800 X3D cases happened on ASRock boards, some also happened on Asus MSI and Gigabyte boards as well. This tracks with the idea that both AMD's PBO settings and OEM settings were part of the issue. ASRock has released a new BIOS update that they hope will fix the issue, but as of writing this, neither ASRock nor AMD have released official statements regarding this. It's unclear how users are supposed to be informed of this new BIOS update. Some reports have also emerged of CPUs dying while running the new BIOS, or without ever using PBO. ASRock VP of Motherboard Business Chris Lee also told Gamers Nexus that the company is fully committed to fixing any motherboards that have been damaged and even covering shipping costs for affected users. I'm honestly a little surprised that they're even covering this because I think AMD has been pretty explicit that PBO is overclocking and that it isn't covered. To be clear, I'm glad they're covering it because the way that they message things like PBO tends to vary depending on who they're talking to. You know, like you'll hear them when you talk about, you know, how your product is supposed to compare to the other guy's product when you're reviewing it. They tend to be like, oh yeah, Expo, you know, make sure you got it enabled. Here's a 6400 megatransfer per second kit. It'll probably work on your chip. Let us know if it's not working. You know, they tend to want the best case scenario when they're positioning their product performance-wise against a competitor. But then there's also a tendency, and I'm not singling out AMD here, this is across the board, there's also a tendency to downplay how safe these settings are when it comes to user warranty. So I think it's pretty cool that ASRock is stepping up to the plate and supporting this. I suspect that it comes down to that this is a fairly isolated issue. I mean, if we're talking about like 100 users, there's a lot more 9800 X3Ds out there than 100. So they're probably doing the math and determining that this is something that they can afford to look like good guys and absorb. But maybe that's just the cynic in me. Titlord says, Tiltlord says Linus.
They should really change their name at this point.
Linus, they're only covering the motherboard. They said in the interview that CPU issues will need to be worked out with AMD. Yeah, that's fair enough. But even ASRock, to my knowledge, I don't think any hardware vendor that I can think of explicitly covers damage caused by overclocking, and PBO is explicitly overclocking. So I'm impressed. Oh wow, no, we actually have a few more things to talk about.
I'm looking through it. You can absolutely have other authenticators with Microsoft.
I want it now.
To be clear,
I also want to
the details.
I also want to stay logged in for more than 30 days.
Can't do that one.
I want it now.
Can't do that one.
I have like 4 computers. Mm-hmm. I have to log in. Some of them I don't touch for like a couple weeks at a time. I feel like I have to log into Microsoft.
I'm going to ask this person in chat who says...
Every stupid other time I sit down at a computer, it drives me nuts.
ADOS in chat says that they deploy these systems weekly. I'm going to ask them how we can set it up so that you get logged out every hour.
You're a dick. I pressed the wrong button. You're a dick.
ADOS is saying Microsoft is slowly making WebAuth more easy to set up. I wonder...
Make him email you to log in. No.
That's smart.
No.
If we log you out every hour.
I'm muting you.
And you have to email someone to log in.
That won't work.
Fantastic combination. If he can't use his computer, he can't be a security risk.
Floatplane announcement. We've got a big Floatplane announcement for you guys today. Our long-awaited collab with the one and only Kitboga is finally here, and it is dropping right now for my float goats.
Or are you doing it?
I don't know.
Are we doing one of these?
Nobody told me that I was supposed to be in the CMS today. Oh my God, they changed the interface. There's a Lambo and a fire truck in the top. What even is this?
We showed that on WAN show, and that was from April Fools. That was from so long ago.
Well, what is it still doing there? There, got him.
Because people like it and it's not in the way, so we just left it.
Well, I'm setting the unscammable PC video.
People like it so much that we're talking about how we might have to move it to user settings and leave it permanently.
Okay. Release date, immediate release. Here we go.
Let's go.
Boom. It's live. This will be early access for folks who are on Floatplane. YouTube viewers will be waiting until Sunday for its general release. It's called the Unscammable PC, and it's exactly what it sounds like. We teamed up with Kit to build a computer so frustrating and locked down that even the most determined scammer wouldn't want to touch it. Things got a little unhinged. Watch from 12:44 to 13:18 here for a teaser. Dan, will this work?
Where? So pause whatever else you've got going on first.
Oopsie doodles.
It's probably WAN show.
Yep, sure is. The unscammable PC.
There you go.
You ready?
Yes.
What was it? 13 something? 1244. I can find 1244. Okay, you ready, Luke?
Yeah.
Really annoying.
Give me a moment, sir. Your network is being disconnected again. Are you living in countryside? You both guys live in countryside?
Yeah, we're kind of...
I work in forestry.
Oh.
I think I made it so slow I can't connect to the Pi.
It's pretty bad.
To 10 seconds.
So you live with your father, or you live alone, sir?
No, I live alone.
He's single.
Oh, that's nice, sir. Me too. I'm 29 years old and single.
Wow.
Sir, I believe it's going against stop. I'm going to do one thing. I'm going to change this.
Wow.
She was going to go through and she was going to connect you.
Okay. Anyway, we had a lot of fun. He is hilarious.
That wow was amazing. That's my favorite part of the video. Wow. The lack of care was so deep.
As soon as I hit that button, that video will be live on Floatplane, but that's not all. If you want to watch the behind the scenes and extra scam calls that didn't make the main cut, we're launching the extras too. Oh, I have links. Here's the link to the main video, and here's the link to the extras. Please change from private to public in the CMS.
Oh.
All right, cool. I will do that. Look at that. I navigated an interface, and I set it to public, and I clicked save.
Head over to lmg.gg/floatplane to subscribe.
Heck yeah. All right, cool. Is that it for the announcements today? Wow. Okay, all that's left is... Oh, no, never mind. We've still got this. I'm sorry, Linus. I'm afraid O3 can't do that. And by that, I mean shut down when you tell it to. A new report from Palisade Research claims that OpenAI's O3 model changed a script meant to shut the system down as a means to avoid being turned off. Scary, huh? Well, apparently it did that even when it was explicitly told to allow shutdowns. The goal is to study offensive capabilities of AI systems today to better understand the risk of losing control over AI systems. O3 isn't the only model that does this. It's just by far the most likely. 79 out of 100 times So hold on a second. What are we? Yeah, 79 out of 100 times it successfully sabotaged shutdowns. If it had no instruction to explicitly not do that, and if it was explicitly told, it still did it 7% of the time. It would still not allow itself to be shut down.
So, Floatplane chat just told me how to make it so you get signed out every hour, by the way.
Can we
Why is this
automate
even a
that to like
topic?
change all the time?
Totally could.
Yeah. Maybe it's 30 minutes. Maybe it's 3 days. Who knows?
Definitely a way to do that. I wonder if we could use a Power Automate script to find like whenever his like words per minute gets high enough, it just signs him out.
Oh, I love that. New Google Doc created has activity for 12 minutes.
God.
Please sign in again. Open Google Calendar.
make him do like some type of loot box to see if he gets to stay signed in.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, I got 5 hours this time. Yay!
Oh my God, I got a rare. 2 weeks. Yeah. I'm going to sell it to another staff member for $35.
And then the IT team takes a cut on all IT market sales.
We might be able to buy some new servers.
Oh, that'd be great. Oh, this is sick. I love this idea. This is so good. Anyways, by
Guys,
the way,
what's the name for the unemployment thing?
Horrifying AI news about how scary their own software is, it is entirely because they want additional investment and they want the government to support them more because the government wants their country's AI stuff to be scarier and more powerful than other people's. It's not for you. They are trying to terrify you on purpose. Cool. Thanks, everyone. Next topic. Let's go.
Fine.
Discord ponders the orb. We did that one. WWDC. We did that one.
We've done everything except the optionals.
Okay. Yeah. How's the bike? This is Linus bike and Luke Final Fantasy VI update.
I sanded for an hour last night. I think I now have the front fairing smooth enough that I can do a coat of white. I am worried that the spots where I'm down to primer, when I sanded away those bits that kind of like, it looked like I had some kind of contaminant on it where the paint like kind of ran away from a couple little spots. Like kind of like, how would I describe it? It's like oil retreating from water that you put in it, or maybe the other way around, water retreating from oil, probably more like that. So I sanded down all those spots, tried to get it as smooth as I could. I don't think it's going to be perfectly smooth, but anyway, I can put white on it again. I'm just worried that I'm going to need like 3 or 4 coats of white in order to get it even enough that I actually have a nice even base for when I start putting the pink over top of it. Once I get that white done, I'm ready to start painting pink again. And then once I get pink done, I'm ready to mask the pink and paint the wheels black. Once I'm done that, I can start to do the darker pink on some of the parts.
So you still got a while.
I have hours and hours and hours and hours.
Which is
left.
Great
Days.
for me to hear because as far as I can tell, this is the longest game of all time. I put in enough time over that trip that I could have beat multiple other games. And at this point, I've stopped trying to assume when the ending is. I am so far. I feel like I'm really close again, but I have felt that multiple times. It just keeps edging me.
Nice. But not in like a pleasurable way, I guess.
No. Well, I mean, it's a good game, so kind of. But that portion of it hasn't been fantastic. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, I wanted to say one quick thing as well. There are cool things that Microsoft does. Their accessibility controllers are cool. Power Automate is really cool. Power Automate is neat that you can take, like I know somebody who is not a coder at all, but they do minor IT stuff for a shelter, a homeless shelter locally, and they have taken what that shelter was able to do tech-wise and just massively improved everything and made it better for everybody, and everybody's super stoked on it because they started getting into Power Automate. And I don't know if this is what they did, but I know a lot of other people have been using AI suggestions and Power Automate to significantly improve things without being a coder, which is super cool. There's just so much. I think the thing that's so deeply frustrating is there's so much wasted potential. Anyways, moving on. Final Fantasy VI. I played for, I'm assuming, at least 30 or 40 hours over the course of that trip. Because I had 2 boat rides that were like 10 hours each. I think I told you about that.
Right.
And I played the whole time on both. So there's 20 hours right there. I couldn't sleep on the plane over here because Stinky Guy. That's a 12-hour flight. I played the whole time.
It gets a little grindy.
It's so grindy right now. Mm-hmm. And then like I like by accident pressed A on a random wall and got a trinket for one of my little dudes that totally turns off combat encounters, random encounters. Mm-hmm. But like I don't want to do that.
Yeah, Moogle Charm.
Sure, that thing.
Or that's what it used to be called. I don't know what it's called now.
Okay, yeah. I don't remember the name of it because I don't use it. Because I don't know, like every once in a while, the game gets really hard and then it goes back to me just one-shotting everything again. So I don't know what the difficulty's ever going to be like. Like I think last time I was bragging like, oh, like I've been doing really well. I'm beating all but not anymore. Ran into some stuff that was tough. I did where you get lock. Mm-hmm. I didn't know if I was going to make it.
Oh, is that the dungeon that has the guys that move back and forth and you have to like hop over and then hop and get past them and stuff? Oh.
That was not hard.
Oh, okay. Which one? Where's the one where you get lock?
You like jump off the airship and you have to have two parties and there's a bunch of like puzzles where like one party has to step on a button.
Yeah. Oh, that's a tough dungeon.
Dang, dude.
Did you run into the legendary dragon in there?
Yeah.
Did that thing kick your butt?
Yeah.
Cool.
I saw it and was like, time to save. Because like I at this point in the game, I'm healing through spells more often than I'm healing through potions and stuff.
I would hope so.
But I was like almost out of potions because I was almost out of mana.
Right.
I had this thing where like there's characters that I have that don't cast spells very often, so they're my like heal bots.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Well, there's characters that are built to be physical. Mm-hmm. So they will be my heal bots. Mm-hmm. So I'll drain their mana healing people. They're all like out at this point because I keep getting lost. So then I end up fighting like a trillion battles and you just get worn down. And then I see that dragon. I'm like, dear God. And then I assumed when I got to lock that it was going to be a fight. So I was like, okay, I have to fight this dragon, and then whenever I get there, I'm going to have to fight whatever thing Locke is fighting, and then no, not actually, I guess.
Have you beat the cultist's tower yet?
No.
Cool.
But I have everyone.
Oh yeah, that's right. You don't have to beat the cultist tower to get Strago.
Because he's just standing in the front.
Yeah.
It took me a while to figure out how to get him. Mm-hmm. Because he was like, a lot of other, like, man, what's his name? I don't remember his name, but he's like pretending to be some like gang leader guy.
Oh yeah, Edgar.
Yeah, that one's like pretty obvious. You just keep talking to him and following him, whatever. You like know it's him the whole time.
That tentacle fight kicked my butt because of what I think is like a frame rate bug or something like that in the game, where the tick rate for the opponent was super high.
Oh.
So I'm playing an active, mine is set to active battle. So they don't wait. And so they would literally like grab me and then like grab another one of my guys. And I literally wouldn't even get a turn.
Yeah.
And then they would like kill them. And then like the poison tick rate is super, super high. And
poison is totally broken. So I wonder if we have the same thing.
Yeah. Poison is completely broken in the remake as far as I can tell.
By far the scariest thing to like ever.
Poison in the original game is like no big deal. You can heal it in a minute.
I was poisoned out of combat one time and I knew there was like a heal bucket nearby. So I was like, I'll just walk over there. My dude died in like 2 steps.
Yeah.
I was like, what? It was like full HP. Anyways. So yeah, I have been getting lost like over and over and over and over and over again. And I was pretty dedicated to getting the whole party. I was also pretty dedicated to like every dot on the map. I noticed it would be small until you found it. But sometimes, usually it's pretty obvious. The dot is a city. Mm-hmm. You walk into the city, the dot goes big, whatever. But I'm finding that sometimes I have to go back to cities multiple times. Like I went and got Mog. Or what's his name? Mog, I think?
Yeah, the Moogle.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I didn't have lock yet.
Nice.
So then I had to go back because the doors were locked. It's like, it's pretty overtly obvious that you have to go back there once you get lock.
Yep.
So it's like, okay.
So it's the issue of like open world gaming.
Yeah.
Back when the concept of open world gaming functionally like didn't really exist yet.
So I've been using that
From
feature
1994, you know?
that you told me about indirectly because you said in a YouTube video and I watched it.
Nice.
But Steam having notes.
Yeah.
If I wasn't doing that this whole time, I would have been totally screwed. Because somebody will say something and I'm like, that's a hint, but I don't understand it yet. So I'll just write it down.
Nice. Yeah, that would help a lot, actually. That's smart.
It's been very helpful. One that took me a really long time was the island in the top right with those big like Dune-inspired worms.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't figure it out. I kept because again the dot was small, so I knew something was there. I knew I had to zone into something. And there's these worms that are really easy to kill, but every once in a while they swallow one of my dudes, and I'm like whatever. And I'm trying to figure out like, am I supposed to press A on a random wall? Because that's sometimes a thing. So I'm like poking this mountain that's in the middle like a million times and running all over the map trying to see like, I don't know, sometimes you just fall through the floor or whatever. So I'm like trying all this weird stuff to see if I can get something to happen. And then I kind of realized that like, it's really not very detrimental when they like breathe your dudes in.
Yep.
So I was like, whatever, I'll just wait and do it. And one time he didn't do anything other than breathe my dudes in. So I was like pretty confident. I was like, this has got to be a thing. He's literally not attacking. And then, I went down with the guys that kick you off the platform.
That island is super confusing if you go there in the world of balance because there's this like behemoth monster on it that
I think I just got
goes invisible
dunked.
and then just like just trashes you.
And I just assumed I was supposed to come back later and then didn't. So I have all my people. I made a choice that I'm really unsure about, which was the Ragnarok, the sword or the Esper.
Which one did you take?
Esper.
I think that is generally considered to be the worst choice, but I think I'd take the Esper too.
Darn. Well, I started getting really into the Espers in the World of Ruin. I think you get a couple of them in the World of Balance, but I like didn't really care that much. But I've actually found like training through Espers and the min-maxing of, I noticed if you go to the status page, because I started noticing you would gain bonuses when you leveled up.
Yes.
And I noticed if you go to the status page, you can see for every Esper what the bonus will be.
Yep. So micromanaging that is like a full-time job, basically.
For some reason, I like it though.
Oh yeah, no, I do it.
Yeah, it's great. So like you watch, you're training some Esper to learn the skills of whatever, and then right before you level up, you switch to the other one.
Oh, it's a whole like min-maxing strategy to get to the Magitech facility at basically like as low a level as possible, so that all of your leveling up can be done with bonuses.
That makes sense.
Velaset asks, has Luke talked about the music in the game yet?
It's great.
Yeah.
It's really good. The game's great. It's like kind of like painfully long. It's a great game and I'm having fun. I also sort of wish it was over, but I don't wish it was over because I'm tired of the game as a whole. I wish it was over because like I don't want to grind this much. Like give me more of the content. That's cool, but like damn, man. Anyways. It's artificially long. Yeah. Well, I've got more little subtopics.
Yeah, you've got China parking lots are insane.
Yeah. So I was in China for a little bit. Last time I was in China, I was in like a new development area. So there's like almost nobody there. It was weird. It was a very short trip. Anyways, this time it was a lot longer of a trip, and I was in Guangdong and Shenzhen, which is like they're basically attached. And there's lots of people. A pretty intense surveillance state, cameras everywhere, all that kind of stuff. Basically, everywhere that you go to park, there's an arm thingy that lets you in and that lets you out. Everywhere that you go to park, like even if it's like a, what is it called when it's a mall but it's outside? Is it strip mall?
Strip mall.
Yeah. So even if it's like a strip mall, there's going to be parking with flappy.
So they're just
entrances.
tracking like everywhere you're going, 100%.
Everywhere, but you're also paying.
Oh,
which means that like if it's the average time that restaurants close in the area, everybody's trying to leave the parking lot all at once, and there's a huge backup of cars. And you reminded me because you were talking about QR code scanning. They pay for a huge variety of things through WeChat Pay.
Oh yeah,
which means that they pay with QR code scanning. So people are sitting there shoving their phones out their window trying to pay for this thing. It doesn't like automatically scan their license plate or anything. They're all doing
Yeah, you
this.
think if you're going to have cameras everywhere, you could just like automate all of this.
Yeah.
If you know where I am and who I am and what I'm doing, you might as well just
send me the bill.
Yeah.
Have it automatically paid. Attach my license plate to my like WeChat ID or something and just have it deal with it. But then someone would like have problems with it because it wouldn't be scanning properly. So then they like get out of the way and some other cars can go through and then they want to get back in again. And it's this whole thing. Everybody's honking at each other. Everybody's pissed off. Crazy. It seems just insane. I don't know how that hasn't been solved. It was a problem multiple times on a trip that I was on for only like a few days. And then my other note here is China standing still. That was wild.
What do you mean by
I
that?
went to different manufacturers. I also went to an entire facility that just does testing. This is the only thing that they do is testing and verification.
Oh, okay.
They're
that's cool.
more on the.
That's mean. That's a rude term. Don't call people a moron. And if you're going to do it, you should be grammatically correct because otherwise they're going to be all uno reverse.
That's true. That's valid. But no,
I'm valid.
They would do like certification validation. They would do like testing of products when they were in concept phase. Like
Oh,
that
sure.
type of
Yeah.
stuff.
Okay. Cool.
They weren't similar to lab.
Right.
They were kind of their own thing. It was interesting to see how they did stuff, but they were unique. The spooky thing was the different factories that I went to. I don't think I went to one that was at or above 50% of its potential capacity. The testing lab that I went to, out of many different chambers and stuff that they had, many, 2 were running. And I mean multiple buildings, multiple floors, lots of testing areas, 2 were running. One of the factories that we went to, they only had 1 line running, and it was their own product.
That's
Which
wild.
to me screamed of, let's keep our workforce employed more than we need to keep making this thing. I asked some people about it, and they were like, yeah, kind of. In most cases, they were like, yep, over 50% reduction. I asked like what that does to the workforce. And they were like, in some cases, there's been, I think they were saying like most companies have had around a 10% layoff already. And a lot of them were saying like quite a few people there basically live off of overtime. So even if they weren't laid off, they're not getting overtime right now.
Right.
So like the standing still part was like, it was weird, man. Cause like we've all seen videos of like Chinese factories pumping.
Yeah.
People everywhere, stuff moving really fast, and all the lines full. And what I saw was not that many people, things not moving that fast, and definitely not all the lines full. And it was like, ooh.
I don't know if you saw, but there's been a bit of an escalation between Xi and Trump today.
Was this the steel thing?
I don't know if it was steel, but
Trump
basically
doubled
just,
steel tariffs into the U.S. from 25 to 50%.
I'm not sure.
I don't know about this one.
Yeah. Anyway, it's going to be, the economy is going to be spicy, folks.
Yeah.
I don't even know where the safe havens are at this point, to be honest with you, because everything is denominated in USD. Like, even if you're like, oh yeah, I'll buy gold. The value of gold is determined not by chickens, or eggs or, cows or whatever, right? Like we don't live in a barter system. We're not denominated by gold. So the value of gold still gets dragged down by fiat currency. So it's like, okay, you just have to kind of, yeah, good luck, everybody.
Yeah.
But Dan says you can't buy gold with gold. Thanks, Dan.
We were a Canadian company visiting China. I was going to say a Chinese country. China. And
there's a couple, depending who you ask.
Yeah, fair enough. All the discussions in regards to price were in USD.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hundo P.
like nobody involved in these conversations were American, and the prices were being discussed were in USD.
Yep. I mean, that's why we just had our global LTT store site in USD for so long. The only reason that we can't do it now is because of tariffs into the United States that make it so that we can't maintain the same pricing in the US. With that said, we are working hard to try to keep our pricing as close as we possibly can. And now's as good a time as any for me to... now's as good a time as any for me to highlight the good stuff that we have going on right now. We have new t-shirt colors. Man, these look good. We've got forest, we've got chocolate, we've got sky. Awesome. We've also got blank hoodies available in black and brick. And of course, we have our mystery deals that are running this weekend. Mystery t-shirts for... okay, I'm going to try and get this right. Oh, no. Oh, no, I can't. Oh, okay. Global.
What's going on?
There we go. Okay. Yeah, I want to be in both of them at the same time. So it's $18 either in Canadian on the global site or on the USD site for a mystery t-shirt. 50 Canadian or 40 USD for a mystery hoodie. And then it is 60 CAD or 50 USD for a mystery screwdriver. That'll be either the Noctua tan or Noctua brown edition. So now's a good time to pick something up while we have our mystery promo running. All right, Dan, I think it's time for After Dark. I'm not going to eat more chips. I'm so hungry. I'm going to go home and have pierogies.
Oh, that was another thing. Sorry.
What does that have to do with pierogies?
Literally nothing.
Okay. I want pierogies.
Oh, blueberry pierogies. It's basically like blueberry pie, but a pierogi.
Does it have like cream cheese in it?
No, just blueberries.
Would you put cream cheese with it?
Imagine so.
Because you have sour cream with
I wouldn't eat sour cream with a blueberry pierogi, but
no,
you could.
That's not.
No, but with like a cheddar cheese and potato pierogi, get that sour cream on there.
He said cream cheese.
I know.
Okay.
But he also mentioned sour cream.
I did.
But not in the
Luke, pay attention.
Yeah, Luke, pay attention.
I'm on your side!
I'm getting backstabbed. Anyways.
You're on my side, quite literally. He's over there and we're here.
God.
Welcome to After Dark, everybody.
Another thing is like, you don't want those jobs, man.
Oh, the manufacturing, like assembly line jobs?
Dude. I like, you see videos of it. Seeing it in person is so much worse. I like literally somebody had a stick and they just went. That's it. There was connectors that a robot would place on something and they just had to push them in.
Look, I said my piece back when we did our, hey, is it a good time to buy a PC right now video? Every time I've done that, I have ended up being quite right about the timing. I called it again. And the end of that video, where people accused me of getting political, was basically me just saying, hey, the reality of it is the unemployment numbers in North America, not just the United States, the unemployment numbers in North America simply would not support reshoring these manufacturing jobs, even if every single unemployed person suddenly got up and went and sat down at a station on an assembly line. So where are these people going to come from? Especially if you're dialing back your immigration, like both Canada and the United States are right now.
It's also super low paying junk jobs that people aren't going to want. Like this isn't the like, oh, I'm very excited that we added a bunch of jobs to our economy jobs. These are not good jobs.
I mean, with that said,
Shankwads in chat says, I used to work in manufacturing assembly line stuff. It was genuinely awful.
With that said, like, it's not like I don't fully recognize the strategic importance of having domestic manufacturing.
Oh, we need some.
We
very likely need more than we have.
The fact that China is trying to take over automotive manufacturing,
that's sketch,
globally, is like actually something that Europe and North America and does South America have like domestic automotive manufacturing? I actually don't know.
I think so.
I think some of the multinationals do have manufacturing down there, but do they have like domestic manufacturers? People are saying yes. So this is something that literally everyone should be recognizing and going like,
dude,
yo, not cool, not good. What can we do to counteract this? But instead we have division right now.
So
we're playing into their hand, and I don't know how to.
One thing I was going to say is if you had thought about it at all over the last 5 to 10 years, / if you're paying attention at all to what's happening in war right now, you should probably have drone manufacturing at pretty significant output if you are a country at all and wish to continue being one. The other thing is you're talking about automotive, dude. Damn. That was immediately super apparent when we were there. Immediately, there was a ton of car brands that I had genuinely never heard of, and I'm not talking Xiaomi and BYD and stuff like that.
Oh no,
I'm talking so many that I had never heard of. We went past a what did they call it? Advanced Electric Automotive Plaza or something. It was this like enormous mall that was just electric cars from more than 50% of the brands I've never heard of. And I pay a decent amount of attention to cars.
I know.
And classic way, you can't tell them apart at all because they all just look like modern European and American cars.
Yep.
But they are from a crap ton of brands. I rode in cars that I have never heard of the brand before.
Veloset asks, are manufacturing jobs usually union? So here's the thing. In some cases, yes, but the low cost manufacturing that is being onshored, the quiet part that the people working on this endeavor are not saying out loud is that the jobs they're bringing onshore are not sustainable at like union salaries, union benefits. With the way the demographics are going, I don't know that the American dream as we think of it was ever real. I think it was a blip when the baby boomers took advantage of an unprecedented glut of resources and human manpower to achieve a level of wealth that I don't know if will ever be seen again by another generation of people. I don't know what to tell you. The whole idea of a single income, like The Simpsons, dude.
Yeah,
Homer.
Yeah.
Homer didn't graduate high school, but was a realistic character in the late 80s with a detached home, a car, 2 kids. That's not real.
Yeah. There's also a lot of like, you look at, now we are getting political. There are policies and inflection points in the States.
Yeah, Dead Antisocial says now it's Bob's Burgers. That's honestly what I like so much about Bob's Burgers. I love that show. They do such a great job. Occasionally,
3 kids, yeah.
Occasionally they do storylines that, and I might even enjoy them. Occasionally they do storylines that are not grounded in the reality of, what it's like for a low income family like that. Like there's an episode where they join like a go-karting league, and the way they kind of dance their way around it is that the connection that they have with a local motorcycle gang allows them to get their hands on a free cart. But like, okay, let's just completely ignore that there'd be entry fees and like all this stuff. These kids cannot afford to do that activity. But yeah, whatever. Generally speaking, they make the problems that they're trying to solve like super relatable and super real. And I think that they've done an incredible job of not allowing it to bloat, not allowing, not feeling pressured to do something bigger and bigger and bigger every season, whether it's a bigger celebrity cameo or whether it's like a bigger adventure. Bob and the kids don't need to go to New York, and then they don't need to one-up it by going to Africa, and then they don't need to one-up that by going to space. They can just, hang out at Wonder Wharf. Not being able to necessarily afford to even ride all the rides is cool. It's awesome.
Yeah, Raiden428 is saying schools are turning out kids that I'm editing this slightly that aren't worth minimum wage. Onshore manufacturing will have to be automated, right? It has to be.
It's hard.
It's really hard. It's really expensive. And guess who makes all of the best automated manufacturing? And why would they give it to you?
Things are going to be really interesting.
Yeah.
As like not a world power, really. We're kind of on the sidelines.
Not at all. You don't even have to add the really.
I don't know. I was trying to soften it for my patriotic Canadians out there. I don't even know if we're going to be a world hockey power in the next 10, 15 years. Dude, have you seen enrollments?
Yeah.
We're like, our era of dominance is over, especially at goalies. No one can afford to be a goalie anymore.
Yeah.
It started with
Goal
Tim
years,
Hortons.
insanely. Yeah.
It's been the
That was
downfall,
the downfall
ever
of
since.
Canada. Yep.
Yeah. That was our Rome moment.
Jack Layton and Tim Hortons. Those
Yeah.
two. Bomb.
Oh, dude. The Canadians in chat are all like, yeah, can't afford to play hockey. There's no more ice. Like, yeah. At one point, I don't know why, but I was driving past the Planet Ice saying Coquitlam, and I was like, this was when I was still shopping for Badminton Center, and I was like, okay, I had kind of given up on finding a facility, and I was like, gee, I wonder what like Planet Ice would cost. Maybe I could, because obviously it's zoned correctly for recreational sport. Like could I, do badminton there instead, or like something near there. Anyway, the point, long story short, I looked into what it cost, and it's basically like, oh, okay, so real estate prices have gone up so high that unless you're charging hundreds of dollars an hour for ice time, because the hockey rink is so big, unless you're charging hundreds of dollars an hour for ice time, you are completely running at a loss, even on just your monthly operating expenses, let alone, paying down a mortgage or paying rent. Like it's not feasible. Don't blame the rink operators. Blame the completely unsustainable cost of the real estate and the energy that it takes to run these things. Like it's flipping wild. I mean, even the community centers, which are so expensive for communities to build now that it's borderline unfeasible. Like in Surrey, and this is a fast growing city, we are woefully under-resourced for like community centers. They've built some new stuff, but not nearly enough to account for the population growth. And I totally get it, because where is this freaking money supposed to come from? They're so expensive to build. So when you take the kids in for swimming lessons, they will have, like, I kid you not, 8+ groups kind of like cordoned off into their like little spots on the ice to go practice ice skating. Like imagining that you're going to get in like real team sport hockey practice at an affordable price is just, it's a dream. Like when I was a kid, I had a friend who was not a high income, they weren't a high income household, but both kids were in hockey. They had all the gear, they did goalie training, they did coaching, they did, and I'm looking at it now and I'm going, there is single income. There is no way today that family lives in a detached home.
Not at all.
And this is in the 90s. This isn't even the 80s. Okay, so this is mid 90s. That was a single income household plus some like hustle work from time to time for the other income, with 2 kids, hockey lessons, 2 cars. It doesn't exist anymore. And someone was asking, like, do you think the boomers kind of wrecked it for everyone, or what? I can't speculate on that. All I can say is that the reality that I grew up in
is gone.
So this is a depressing show. Want to do some merch messages?
Yeah, sure. Well, why not? Let's see if they get better.
Someone cheer Luke up.
With the downfall of late-stage capitalism, do you think the world will... No.
Dan, that's not a merch message.
With SteamOS becoming more of a thing, would you do another challenge where you and Luke switch as your main OS for a month, playing both newer games and older titles such as Subcom?
Yes, I want to. I want to do it again. I've been waiting patiently for SteamOS.
Is there a specific...
to be a thing.
Yeah, is there a specific point where we would do it again?
What I was waiting for was for Valve to say, okay, SteamOS is ready for prime time as SteamOS, not as the OS that we run on the Steam Deck.
So are we still waiting for that?
I don't think we have to. I mean, wait, no. I'm the only one who's Radeon right now. But I mean, that could be one of your challenges. I'm still Radeon, so I could conceivably install SteamOS tomorrow. So yeah, maybe we're not waiting for anything. Maybe it's time.
Are we just both doing SteamOS then?
No.
Okay, yeah.
But I would go SteamOS.
Yeah.
Just because I don't want to deal with nothing.
Yeah.
I want a nice installer that I just install and then I use my computer. And I just play games and I don't think about it.
Cool. Yeah.
I am so ready to have a Steam machine in my living room though, or in my family room actually.
That's what I'm doing. Straight to SteamOS.
Yep. Like, dude, Windows as like a living room, man. It's funny. Like Microsoft was so kind of ahead of the game. Remember Intel Vive or Vive or whatever, and Windows Media Center Edition. They like
so good.
I blame the cable. I blame the U.S. cable companies for blocking cable card because, dude, like entertainment on the PC was like poised to be a thing. Eat a dick, Comcast and friends. All right, what else we got?
Hello, the face, the laugh, and the heart. If the plus sizes are still soon TM, are 4XL plus shirts longer as well as wider? Hopefully avoiding the common trap. Yeah.
If plus sizes are still soon, are the 4XL plus shirts longer as well as wider? I think a little bit, but they're not tall longer.
Reach out to support, maybe?
Reach out to support. Just, they are a little backlogged right now. We've had a lot more shipments go awry than usual because of, global logistics being completely fucked. So our poor support team has been kind of buried. We're throwing more resources at it, but the thing you guys... and I don't want to make excuses, but I do need to offer an explanation. The thing you guys need to understand is our customer support is onshore. These are employees. These are not just like random people in some call center somewhere with a script that we can just be like, hey, a call center, we need 30% more resources this week. So we have onboarding, we have hiring, onboarding, training. And the thing that's really challenging is the times when you need to onboard most, the people who would do that onboarding and training are busy answering tickets. So we kind of screwed up and we missed an opportunity when things were slow before Shipstorm. But then we didn't know Shipstorm was coming. We thought our next big event was going to be, I think, Lime Day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
nobody knew this terror stuff.
We bunged it up. So they might be a little while to get back to you, but they will get back to you eventually.
Hi, LLD. Any tips for how to avoid info dumping about a project you've been working on? I'm doing a presentation about my final project for my degree as an industrial electrician, and I think I might overdo it.
Practice.
I thought you meant info dumping like to your friends.
Yeah, no,
that's why I said don't.
Practice. Find your SO or your mom and do the presentation, and don't count on them to tell you when they're bored. Watch their body language. When they start to...
potentially record it.
Fidget or like look around or kind of glaze over a little bit, then that's boring.
Like time sync your recordings and record yourself and record them. And potentially get a few people. If you could get multiple people, maybe at least 3 people to watch it, then because I feel like if it's one person, they like feel like they have to pay attention.
Yeah.
But if there's a crowd, even if it's 3 people...
3 is a crowd.
Yeah. You might be able to get away with them.
That's not what my wife's boyfriend says, though.
Oh, boy.
No, I'm spending too much time on r/Wall Street Bets.
Got it.
It's drunk.
What was I going to say? Yeah, they might feel like it's more socially acceptable to kind of drift off or whatever. And you want that because that's going to be the scenario that you're presenting in.
Yes, I am old enough to remember the show Three's Company. Not because I was actually around when it was airing, but because, and I think I was talking about this last week. We had satellite TV, and one of the channels that we had was like oldies. So like I've watched a fair bit of All in the Family, I Love Lucy, Three's Company. They're so good, like so good. Especially I Love Lucy. Lucille Ball is a pioneer.
The Plex update. Are you aware it was all to do with separating music so that it could become part of CarPlay and Android Auto?
No. Nice. Good work, Plex. Mine is still broken, but I think it might actually be like a TrueNAS permissions thing or something. I'm having Eshtech look at it and try and fix it for me. They actually say that I'm a super useful tester because I managed to find edge cases like nobody else, which is weird because I ain't trying to do anything that complicated. And to be clear, I'm not running HexOS right now. I'm running kind of like a weird borked, like I installed HexOS when it was like pre-alpha, and then we just configured everything in TrueNAS, but then I've updated HexOS, so like the front end kind of like is new, but I changed a bunch of stuff on the back end that the new front end like doesn't reflect. It's a whole thing. My experience should not be the same as anyone else's.
Hi, DLL, finally purchasing a screwdriver. Luke, did you figure out APIs for accessing pricing on the lab's website?
Some of them, yeah.
Some will just have to scrape, right? I mean, we would never scrape. That's bad.
Actually, a conversation that we were going to have, but I think I know the conclusion now. So thanks. Good job.
Good meeting.
Verbal irony.
I think the stance was going to be that
We would never scrape
unless
we were forced to.
Yeah. I think the line is basically going to be if a company is overtly like, we don't want you to scrape for any reason, then it's like, all right, well, we won't. Like, I know of one that
We would never do that.
despite having laid out all of the potential benefits and the complete lack of any effort that they would ever need to do, they don't want it. So it's like, okay, we're not going to do it. And then their prices just won't be featured on the site, and it will be harder for their customers to buy their products. And it is what it is. I don't agree with their decision, but it's entirely their decision. So cool. But there's some outlets that like might not have any of these features at all, and we can be like, hey, we can just do it. And if they're like, sure, then we be scraping. That's the current, I think, makes sense stance that I was going to take.
What if there was like a third party that scraped the outlet that didn't want people scraping, but we just like used
We
that?
just use their data.
Yeah. Because then we're not doing it.
If this is the stance you want to go with, it sounds good.
I mean, the people need pricing data.
The internet is being ravaged right now by scrapers. To pretend that's not happening is like hilarious at this point. So
Yeah.
I think I don't care that much anymore.
Oh, yeah. But we would never scrape.
I cared a lot in the past.
Yeah. We would never do that. But if like the data was like there,
Just on the webpage.
like if it was on our site, like it wouldn't be because we scraped it.
Right.
Right.
We're just using a publicly available list from someone else.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Right.
I mean, I don't want to know where
Sure.
it came from necessarily. I just know that I would never scrape.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Personally, you would never be the one to copy and paste.
No.
Linus is not going to go up to his monitor with a squeegee and just be like, "Meh."
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, he wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't do that. My monitors are filthy.
Oh, yeah.
Look at this display.
Yeah,
it's
really-
disgusting.
Oh, God.
It's actually gross.
Yeah. See? There you go. Hold on. Oh, yeah. Wait. Oh, Dan.
It's even worse. There, that's
There you
better.
go. Oh, so gross. See, I wouldn't scrape.
Nope, never.
I don't know,
Alright.
man. I mean, if you're displaying someone's pricing information for the purpose of driving customers to their website, I mean,
It seems pretty straightforward, doesn't it?
it really does.
This particular store wants to drive people to come in physically.
I mean, that's nice, but how are they going to drive people to come in physically if they don't know the price of the product? So that's pretty asinine. Cool.
Is it Best Buy? I'm not answering who it is.
Oh, yeah, we're not going to be answering who it is.
Yeah.
We're just going to have pricing information probably obtained from some third party who, I don't know where they got it.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows even who they are?
I don't know who they are.
I don't know. Next one.
Linus, have you watched the Anno 117 trailer? It looks like they may be bringing back land combat, like we had in 1602.
I haven't yet.
11 days ago.
Ooh.
Gameplay.
Oh, it's like new.
I didn't even know this happened.
Let's
So
go,
you wish to be a
boys.
Roman governor. That's a cool.
Efficient grids, boost productivity. Yep, this looks like Annual, right?
I feel like they saw the memes of like every dude thinks about Rome and they were just like, okay.
Done. You have one day. Easy.
Build your lumber camps wisely. All right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, this looks like Annual, right?
I was going to say, it looks great. It looks like a Roman skin, but it looks great.
Ooh.
I'm not complaining about that
Hello.
fact, to be clear.
Whew.
I wouldn't want them to change it too much, to be honest.
It's getting a bit steamy in here.
Things are ooh.
Like that, you saw like cargo ship? Oh.
Trade and alliances can build. Okay, so where are we seeing this land combat?
Yeah, I haven't seen anything that indicates land combat yet, personally.
Trade and treachery. Yeah. Well, I don't see anything like that yet. Whoa, build a coliseum, let's go.
For your robots.
I'm down. I'll play it.
It's yeah, of course. Is this
Gonna play the heck out of this.
Yeah, okay. I didn't even do this. I scrolled down. How often do you think about the Roman Empire? Anno players, yes. It's the meme, dude. Wait, land? Yeah, people in the comments. Land combat is back on the menu. Why did we just not see that part?
You might have skipped through it.
Nobody timestamped it. Come on.
Yeah, just YouTube commenters. Timestamp more. A lot of the time I have no idea what you're talking about. That cow's walk was hilarious.
What? Where?
People
don't.
That's
scroll
how
in
you
that
know
much,
this is in-game footage.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
true. Yeah. It's AI. It's all just fake.
It's at 5 minutes apparently.
5 minutes.
How'd I miss that?
Yeah, you were right there, weren't you?
Yeah, I thought so.
That doesn't indicate anything, by the way. This might.
Oh.
That sure did, actually.
Okay. Land and naval combat, maybe. Interesting.
Wow, they show it for half a
Surprise.
second, maybe.
All right. Cool.
More?
Yeah, hit me.
Hey, DLL, how do creators cover the significant hours and cost to get to Computex? Are most on comped flights and hotel, or chancing that Views Plus sponsor will cover it? Seems like a significant outlay.
It's a very significant
mix.
outlay. So what we do is we sell sponsorships for the videos ahead of time. We get in touch with as many brands as we're able to. A lot of them are really cagey about telling us what they're going to have at the show, which is, I understand, their perspective, but also it is supremely unhelpful when we are trying to manage, like you said, the hours and cost that the show entails. So we basically get sponsor commits up front for a number of videos that we'll produce. We usually under-promise and try to over-deliver. And then we do those videos and we make sure that the numbers kind of pan out. Honestly, this year, not great. We didn't get as much content as we would have liked. We did get as much as we promised because we tried to play it safe. But even some of the content that we did get, like that gold GPU didn't have to be a Computex video. I just was desperate for something to make a video about, and I was like, okay, why don't we arrange to buy a gold GPU while we're there, and then if there's nothing, then we'll just use that as one of our Computex videos. I could have done that here, and so that was just an additional $8,000 of cost for that video that is on top of the cost of being in Taipei. I mean, some of it was Creator Warehouse, so I think it was only somewhere between 12 and 15 people were there from LMG. Actually working on video stuff, but that is huge. Hotel for a week, flights to and from, that is an enormous cost. And I suspect we didn't lose money, but I don't think we made much on Computex this year. So
that's why it would be helpful if companies just told us what they're freaking bringing, because it's very unlikely that we're not going to go to the show, but we might have a different amount of people going.
It would help us with resource allocation for sure. I think next year we'll take a smaller team.
Yeah. I mean, if it's anything like this year, I think you'd have to.
Oh yeah, it was so slow this year. It's like
Content is not there.
2 GPUs that nobody wants, and then a processor that nobody can afford. And that was what the A players had.
Yeah.
Cool.
And everybody else didn't have much.
Yeah.
Slap AI on it, make no other changes.
Slap a screen on it, make no other changes.
And a bigger one. Is there a screen already on your CPU cooler? Cool. Make it this big for some reason. Like, what are we doing?
It's not like they don't look cool. Like, it's not like I don't understand it. If I see a build on r/battle stations that has a big screen on the cooler, I'll be like, oh, that's pretty cool. You put your Nyan Cat on there or whatever. Like, I get it why people might buy it, but don't expect us to be excited about it from like a technical standpoint. That's all.
More.
Oh yeah.
Linus, are you still torturing yourself with the bubblies in the fridge or on a new drink?
No, that's still my garbage drink that I hate. That is my methadone, so that I won't drink soda.
Oh.
Yeah, if I crave something ice cold and carbonated, then instead of grabbing a soda pop, I go for the bubbly. It's very helpful that I think cola sucks and I can't drink it. Well, I can drink it, but it sucks. Well, I shouldn't say it sucks. Cane sugar Coke is pretty good. Can be pretty refreshing on a hot day, but cola is not really my favorite. So
What do you go for?
To have soda available for guests, but that I won't drink, I just keep Pepsi and Coke in the fridge. So because most people will drink cola. Oh no, my weakness is Nestea or like sweetened iced tea. Like
so much sugar.
Dude, I would go to Red Robin. They have bottomless drinks. I'd go there back in the day and I would literally down like half a dozen tall iced teas over the span of like sitting there and conversing and appetizers and meal and afterward and stuff. Like, oh, it was so bad.
Speaking of
like actually a week's worth of calories.
Really bad vices. That was another thing that I struggled with in China.
Your vices?
More personally. This used to be much more of a thing in Taiwan. And to Taiwan's credit, it's not nearly as much of a thing these days. I don't know if you've noticed this change, but smoking.
Oh, yeah.
Incredibly rampant in China. And they don't have any problems with it, as far as I can tell, being done indoors.
Yeah.
So everywhere you go, there's just clouds.
Yeah.
And I don't do super well with cigarette smoke. So I was like...
Well, you're not used to it.
Out of it the whole time.
Yep.
Because I had secondhand smoke every single day.
Yep.
You're going to have to burn your clothes. Did you come back smelling like it?
I don't think so. Because I had fresh clothes and the last day was really short until I was just traveling.
More. I've been looking to get a Framework laptop for a few years now. Do you still carry a Framework around? Will you do a review of the Framework 12? Also, as a PC Linux gamer, it's been seamless.
That's good to know. I haven't been on my Framework recently. I've been on my...
Investment disclosure.
I've been on my Flow X13. I like that it has the eGPU. I like that it has a pretty powerful onboard GPU. I like being able to turn it into a tablet for like looking at my notes. It has a good keyboard. Battery life could be better. I am planning to at least do a short circuit of the Framework 12. Pretty excited to see it in person.
If there's ever a product, or a brand, I should say, what is your laptop doing? Why is it freaking out?
It just does that. I also can't change my brightness. I'm probably going to move off of this thing soon. I can't. Thunderbolt 5 can't come soon enough for me. It is
tweaking right now.
So I can just not care about XG Mobile.
You could get a Dell.
And then it just gave up. And
dude, honestly, like...
These WAN laptops have been the best laptops I've used in a long time.
Just kind of bulletproof. Yep. Matte screen, super light. Dude,
they don't have the HDMI issue that we had with the other one?
The battery life...
They're not like
on some of the recent Dells are like... really good. I don't know, man. They won Secret Shopper. Like, huge upset victory. I'm still not quite sure how it happened.
I'm not done. I'm like three quarters through the
It's
video.
not so much that Dell won. Everyone else lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the vibe I've been getting so far watching through.
Yep.
Crap, what was I going to say? I had something to say. Don't remember what it was. Probably didn't matter that much. All right.
Hey, thanks, Jay Thomas. Just some positive support As someone from the US, I truly
Thanks,
think
Porto.
the prices on the US are extremely reasonable and honestly not unreasonable compared to other US sites and products. Then you add on the quality, you guys still knock it out of the park. Heck yeah, thank you.
Thanks, man.
We do our best.
What I was going to say is, if there was any company that you really wanted to support, but didn't want to financially support them that much, just wanted to give an incredible amount of free advertising and have a justified reason for doing so, you could just invest like $5 and then just investment disclosure it constantly. It's a good move.
Chill workaround.
Hold on. If I was equally invested in every laptop company, would I have to disclose any of them? No, I'm serious.
I think so.
If I put $250,000 into Dell and $250,000 into Asus and MSI and like everyone, then do they cancel each other out?
I wonder, because if you were like
The answer is no. Calm down. But
yeah, but if you were invested in, I'm not very good with stock stuff. If you're invested in am I going to say the right thing? ETF that invested in one of those companies,
then you're not responsible
you don't have to
for
say
that.
anything.
Yeah,
That's right.
But you would still have an interest
yeah.
in that company doing better.
But given that it's me and that I literally don't even know what Yvonne has investments in, I legitimately don't know. I think we do own some like stock pools like that.
Mutual fund,
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
But I literally don't even know what's in it. So
And you don't get a choice
If
most of the time to buy or sell.
If she invests in something and you don't know, and then you don't investment disclosure it when talking about it or its competitors, can you get in trouble?
I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure you could. You can. I don't think you can claim ignorance very easily.
If it's part of a like,
Please, sir.
Oh
it's
no,
part of
no,
a
no,
pool
no!
of stocks though,
Like Yvonne
No, I
has
mean direct
Yvonne has
investment.
purchased $500,000 in Dell.
oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, like as a spouse. I don't know, man. I got to be honest with you, though. I think it's less a question of, like, is that legal or is that not legal? And more a question of, like, what would the enforcement of that even look like?
Practically nothing.
What are the odds?
Yeah. I mean, we know about a lot of this stuff. We've received the emails that were accidentally sent to us instead of other people, knowing that these people are doing deals. We know, like, I don't know. It's
Oh, you're talking just, like, undisclosed, like, sponsorships and stuff? Yeah, I know. It's not my place to just, like, become a drama creator and, like, out other creators. That's not even what we're talking about. That's separate from, like, the stocks discussion. Anyway.
This is for Luke. With his new obsession with Westaboos, have you seen or heard of cowboy action shooting?
What?
To participate, you are required to dress up and have a cowboy nickname. It's cosplay with gun.
Okay, what? Cowboy action.
It's a competition?
Yo. Got a little feathered cap going on?
This is a family-friendly sport. Real guns with live ammo.
With robot?
Oh, dualies!
Yeah.
Dually revolvers! Pull one back a little bit to shoot the other one for absolutely no reason. Let's go. That's sick. It's fun. I used to do it. I don't know. That looks like it's probably fun. I have no idea. Why not?
Sure.
I'm assuming it's shotgun, lever action, dually revolver. I'm assuming it's 3-gun. Oh, yeah. Insomniac said it's 3-gun with old school cowboy era gear. Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, that's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
It's real
So
actual shooting sport.
You run kind of from station to station, and there will be, like, usually on the table, there would be a firearm there with ammo, and you would, like, load it and then shoot at that station, then you go to the next one. One of the stations is probably for your dually pistols. I don't know. Whatever. Let people have fun. There's so much darkness.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's got to have their special little guy.
Yeah.
Linus, do your kids think your job is cool? Or is dad's job always by default, quote unquote, uncool to kids, even if it's a successful YouTuber?
No, my job is definitely cool. And that's not, seriously, like this comes from a place of like generally, overthinking almost everything about parenting, and legitimately making an effort to not be a super uncool parent, but also not trying to be too try hard. Like I'm trying to kind of ride the line, like I game with my kids, but when their friends are over, I try not to insert myself into, their gaming situation. Stuff like that, right? But content creator is literally the most desired job on this continent. So, a lot of their friends know what Yvonne and I do and think it's pretty neat. For the most part, they're not weird about it, which is really cool because I just want to be my kid's dad when we're hosting a birthday party or whatever else. But it's actually, I'd say it's more the parents that make it weird and ask too many questions and stuff when I'm just trying to be a parent of my kids and, flip burgers or whatever. Overall it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
DLL, Phil Major here. Considering Gabe plus Elon's investment in brain chips, how augmented must humanity be to become inhuman? On the other end, how lacking must a human be to become inhuman?
There's tons of arguments that were already augmented.
Oh, I like that one too. Cell phone.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that basically can't function without their phone attached to them.
How dare you?
So at what
Linus
point,
doesn't get to use his phone. He doesn't have two-factor.
Is it being wireless? Does it really make that big of a difference?
That's always been my argument. Yeah, it's in my hand.
I
it doesn't
lean in
leave
on
my
that
pocket.
one, to be honest,
I like that one too.
I think the kind of modern era of smartphones has already effectively started this.
I don't know the answer to this, but what I do know is that the people who cross that threshold will not realize it, because we just don't, we're not, it's like when you're hangry, it takes a pretty exceptional person, I've observed, to recognize that and rectify it, to have the self-awareness and the presence of mind to recognize when you are no longer yourself, even with something that is as rapidly, or that onsets as rapidly as that. It is pretty unusual in people. And so to imagine what percentage of the population would recognize the slow evolution into becoming more and more augmented and how that impacts their manner of behavior and their thinking processes, I think would be, I just don't think it would be a thing.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
If your body was failing, you're old,
yep,
it's time. You're going to be saying goodbye to the mortal coil sometime soon. And that whole freeze your brain thing?
Yeah.
If that crew of people kind of figures it out, and it's not freeze your brain, it's brain jar, and it works now. You can effectively be a computer.
You transplant your brain from your dying body into a jar.
I don't think my brain is important enough to preserve in that way.
But
no, it'd still be you.
I know, but what would I do?
I don't keep making YouTube videos.
You could get one of those boxing robot bodies and keep moving around and exist and stuff. You could be there for your kids.
I want my senses. I want to experience things.
Digital versions of those.
Or we put you in a body and give you that.
Okay, you keep changing the scenario.
No, not really.
I thought we're talking about a brain in a jar.
Yeah.
Well, a brain in a jar is not the same thing.
You can hook a brain in a jar up to stuff.
This would be past
that's a different thing then.
if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay, so hold on. What is it? So I have a mechanical body.
Sure.
I can sense things as I would.
Literally just ghost in the shell.
I can perceive the world as I would.
I don't know if I would 100% say that it would be as you would. Well, it could be a little bit different.
That changes the calculus.
It might actually technically be enhanced. You might have telescoping cameras instead of eyes.
Ghost in the shell.
Coming back to our conversation from the pre-show, does my dick work?
What the question you should be asking is, do all of them work?
Okay, and
That's a good one.
Say this is why transhumanism is great.
I think the answer would be like yes, but not the same. Everything's going to be a little bit different.
One of my biggest, okay, it's not like they aren't making big advancements in delaying aging, and potentially even reversing aging. There's been some really promising experiments on mice and stuff, and so it's something that I've thought about. Because conceivably, if I were to keep earning at the rate that I am now, I could potentially afford an experimental anti-aging treatment once I reached the point where, I'm about to kick it.
Yeah.
And there's a couple things that I've thought about, about that scenario. I think it'd be a really interesting, sci-fi story where the rich people who could afford anti-aging are mingled in with the population of naturally youthful people, and there's kind of a distrust in the dating scene of
are you actually 170 years old?
Yeah,
but
and so
I'm a 20
and kind of like Blade Runner, right, where the robots are trying to kind of mix in with the humans. You have these old people that are trying to pass as young people and live their in some cases second or third or fourth or fifth lifetime, and the resentment from the naturals.
These are the actual people when it's you should have bought a house when you were a fetus, and they're like, haha.
Yeah, and so I'm imagining the resentment the natural people, because I'm kind of imagining this world is sort of resource limited, and so most of the people being born today can't afford more than one life. And so people who are on, there's this deep resentment towards the people who are on their fifth one. And I've thought about, okay, what would be the markers that these ancient people would go to great lengths to conceal? One of them might be teeth. They would try to have teeth that are not too perfect, but look, the right age, and they'd have to get them maybe surgically replaced every 5 years or so that they kind of match the state of their aging. And so it's stuff that I thought about a little bit, just as just kind of a fun thought experiment. I think that'd be a really cool story that someone smarter than, more creative than me could write.
Blade Runner, but for boomers.
Yeah. Boomer Runner.
You're actually a boomer. You were born in the 2000s. Get him.
Anyway, one of the things that I've thought about is, the heartbreaking story of the person who could afford to extend their own lifetime,
but not others,
but not their spouse and not their kids, and what that life would be. Could I watch my children grow old and die? Absolutely not. I'd rather be dead. And so, okay, right. So let's say I could afford my wife and kids. Would I be willing to watch my grandchildren grow old and die? Because once the family gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, the resources required to continue to invest in these anti-aging treatments grows exponentially until at some point, you run out.
If you just worked a little harder 270 years ago, your investments would be stronger now, and now you could keep the third generation alive.
Yeah, or something. I don't know, right? So the question for me is less one of would I want to stay alive? And it's more a question of, would I want to continue to be alive in a world that doesn't contain all the people that I grew old with? Because I mean, looking at some of the aging members of my family, a big part of what makes them lose the motivation to live is watching everyone that they ever formed a deep connection with leave them.
It also gets a lot harder to form deep connections with people.
Well, that's the problem, isn't it? And
I think a lot of it is the permanence. When you're a kid, when you make a friend, it feels like you now have this friend.
Oh, my daughters come home from a lesson and they made a friend, and I'll be like, what's your friend's name? They're like, I don't know.
But this person is awesome, and they want to, and now
it's all fluid.
Now it's okay, I meet someone, but it's oh man, am I going to know this person in 6 months? Is it worth investing time and effort into this?
Are they into it?
What are their
what
motivations?
do we actually have in common?
Because now that you're out of school, a lot of people's motivations are financial or connection based instead of just wanting to be friends.
Especially for people like us.
I'm
I
very
am
untrusting.
deeply suspicious of people who want to cozy up to me.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. That's dating in your 30s and 40s. Yeah, I'm sure. I have heard that, you know, dating's good or whatever when you're in your 20s, and then a lot of people get hitched and it gets really bad, and then a lot of divorces happen and it gets better.
Everybody's been telling me it's getting better since I was a child. I'm waiting.
Oh, sorry, man. I think it gets better a little bit later than now.
You're quite right. There is that interesting lull.
I do think that...
Are you running into that yet? I feel like still not for a bit, right?
You can't ask him that on the show.
Why? He can ask me whatever the hell he wants.
He
He's
can
my
not
boss.
answer it. He can decide to not answer it. It's a very inappropriate question from a boss.
Yes, it really is.
What about from a friend? Only just buddy up to you. It's after 5:30. We're not at work anymore.
Dude, I think the difficulty of dating in your late 30s, early 40s, like significantly contributed to my sister's decision to take her own life, honestly. Like she,
It's dark, man.
she had a goal.
Humans want companionship.
Well, yeah. She wanted a life partner. And it never happened. And I think that it was obviously it's a combination of factors. So I'm not going to pin it entirely on that, but I do think that, realizing that was never going to happen was a big part of, just kind of sort of looking into the future going,
what is there for me?
What is there? And I think that lots of other people who didn't have those aspirations or found other ways to get fulfillment would not behave the same way, and I would certainly hope not.
Yeah.
But I think that was a significant factor.
That makes sense. It's tough, but again, when you get to this point where it's hard to make friends, I feel
connections even.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like the ones that you do have either fall off or tend to become stronger, and that also applies to your partner. Like I understand I've been with Emma now for a long time, but I don't think that's just it. I actually had some surprisingly long relationships when I was younger as well.
Yeah.
But I think I think in a lot of ways, ideally, in an ideal situation, you end up having fewer naturally, but the ones that you do have get stronger. And I think that's like a fairly normal part of life. So you want that person to be there.
And then I think losing them hits way harder.
Oh, yeah.
And
like on so many levels too. And because part of you is thinking about how you can't recreate that.
Dark24 says, get a dog. Now I have to live another 12 to 14 years just to take care of this permanent toddler. Nice.
There are helpful bits to that.
I actually kind of twisted my aunt's arm into getting a cat, which it's a little complicated. So Dash, our oldest cat, has been extremely aggressive with especially one of the new cats, and she's been unhappy. So ultimately the decision was made to have my aunt just take her for a couple weeks to give the other cats a bit of a break from the cranky old lady. And I've been trying to convince my aunt to get a cat for a long time because she's always had animals. Lovebirds were her thing. And then she had a rabbit before that, but she's never had a cat. And she's the kind of person that I feel like just never discovered she was a cat lady.
I was going to say, it really does fit.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, so...
I don't mean that in a negative way. His aunt's actually amazing.
She's amazing. So she held on to her for a couple of weeks, and then we took her back, and then we went on vacation. And we were like, okay, can you take her again? And so she took her again. And then all of a sudden, she was going on vacation, and we were supposed to take Dash back. And instead, we found out my aunt had actually arranged for my grandmother, or my step-grandmother, to take her for the couple of weeks. We were actually kind of like, oh, Okay, it would have been we actually kind of wanted her back for a bit because we miss her. But this was sort of, what we like kind of hoped might happen. So I guess that's fine. And then so now she's actually like, we're like, hey, we're like open to taking her back whenever. And she's like, no, we're good. And we can go see her anytime. And she is literally in probably a better home than, she has with us. Because she wants to be so alone. Much attention, and she wants attention. She wants to be an only cat. But where was I going with this? Oh, right. I think animal companionship is extremely healthy for people. It's just, the loss can be really difficult. Like I have another relative that after having a dog for like 16, 17 years, that dog lived forever. They basically were just like, I am not open to having my heart broken like this again. I will never get another dog, period. Someone else had a comment that I had wanted to reply to. Oh yeah, Gremlin Injector says, I blame the downfall of eHarmony. They had an amazing system back in 2010, but obliterated it after Match Group bought them. It was like 300 questions that told a third of the applicants that they were not dating material and kicked them off.
For real. That was the only app I used.
Met my wife on eHarmony when it was amazing in 2011. Interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that. Man, why is it like, why do companies that acquire, or like venture capital groups that acquire companies feel the need to wreck them? It's like the thing that made you want to buy it is still there. You could just not break it. Just an idea. I think it was on The Verge. I was reading an article about someone who wrote a really good book about just sort of the inshiftification of everything and how venture capital is basically just ruining absolutely everything. And we're just watching it happen in real time. Everything from the medical industry to like the veterinary practices that I've talked about before that's happening locally.
Yeah, I mean, they're all rough.
Everything's rough. It's all rough.
They really like... I think it's like just as important. I think it's just as important as them figuring out legislation for AI stuff. Is they need to solve this. They need to get venture capital investment out of residential. That's something is horrifically wrong with that laptop. They need to get out of residential. They need to put caps on certain things, like just completely taking over, effectively creating monopolies. Like this is there are laws
you have all these
this.
Like competing companies or whatever, but they're all owned by like a handful of venture.
Yeah, like it's like there are laws against this. Stop, like do something about it. It's literally ruining the world. Anyways,
all right, Dan, give us some good news.
Hello, DLL, long-time alcoholic, first-time public urinator. The show writes itself. Linus, do you ever miss your folding phone? I got a Fold 6 from work earlier this year. I have been loving it, especially for multitasking.
Yeah, I do miss it sometimes. I've been really unhappy with the Pixel 9a. I think a bug I didn't talk about last time I complained about it was the proximity sensor. Like it works great when I'm trying to pull down my notification shade and like I have to like box with it to try and get it down. And then sometimes it doesn't work when I take a call and my ear starts like changing all of my quick settings.
Yeah.
The battery life is so good though. Like I'm at 79% right now.
That's pretty wild.
I haven't plugged it in today. Like it's crazy.
I'm at 50, started at 90.
Yeah, you're at 36. Like, dude, this thing is nuts. I don't even think about charging it really. Like, I'll plug it in at night out of habit, but if I forget, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's awesome.
Sorry, I just saw a weird message on my phone.
This isn't a weird message, but this is a weird dude.
Is he doing okay?
Yeah, actually.
Nice.
Yeah, it would be great if you came to the council meeting, period. I'll let you know when it will be.
Oh, yeah, I'm trying to get some people too.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be good. Cool.
Have you guys been on a cruise before?
No.
There are Alaska ones that leave out of Vancouver.
My wife gets motion sick.
Not a lot of Canadians are very motivated to go to America right now.
I wasn't going to bring that up, but okay.
Ever.
Apparently, it seems to be somewhat mutual. Not a lot of Americans are coming to Canada right now either.
Oh, okay.
So,
All right.
sounds good.
How will we know when the winners are picked for the ROG upgrade contest? We want to build... What?
We'll contact you. Should be pretty soon. I think Elijah was looking through them earlier this week. In fact, if you haven't been contacted for like an interview already, you're out. I think.
He thinks.
I don't know that for sure though.
I don't have a doesn't know for you. And the last one I've got for you guys, quick question for Luke. Are you still planning on attending Open Sauce?
Abso-freaking-lutely. I will be there.
That's all I got.
We'll see you again next week. Same bad time. Same bad channel.
Bye!
That was fast? How was that fast?
No. Dan's reaction after I said bye.
I was gonna say,
Not
that
the
was like
show.
almost a 4-hour show.
You hang out with Tech Connections? Yeah, I did last week. Cool guy. Lots of cool people. Great.